First, the starting lineup for manager Brian Cloughy's Roswell Invaders. Leading off at second base, number 4, Renee Moreta. Batting second in right field, number 1, Roche Woodard. Batting third in center field, number 9,
Yay, there it is. Okay,
batting fourth at third base, number 5, Joey Miller. Batting fifth, catcher, number 7, Cody Kaufman. Batting sixth in left field, number 33, Bobby Webb. Batting seventh at first base, number 10, Bryce Skelton. Batting eighth, the starting pitcher tonight, number 18, Blake Oliver. And batting ninth, shortstop, number 32, Christian Johnson. And now the starting lineup for manager J.B. Drawley's Tucson Saguaros. Leading off in center field, number 2, Flores. Batting second at shortstop, number 6, Devon Bull. Batting third at first base, number 18, Ryan Rice. Batting fourth in left field, number 11, Adam Urbana.
I don't know where that came from. Pardon me? Okay, so we're on.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please stand and remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the star-spangled banner tonight is Alexandria Heath.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in the toasty warm city of Tucson, Arizona for this Pecos League baseball game tonight. It is the third game of 3 in this series. There'll be 4, one more tomorrow, and it's between the Tucson Saguaros out in the field right now and the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders ready to come up to bat. The Saguaros have won the first two, using 7 runs to do it, against 1 in the first game and against 3 last night. Both times it was a third inning 5-run outburst and then a 5th inning 5-run outburst that has sealed the fate of Roswell, New Mexico. The Invaders are in second spot, now 4 games out in the Pecos League South Division. And on top of that division at 14-3, 4 games ahead, is the Tucson Saguaro gang. So we're ready to go here. Carlos Diaz throwing his warm-up pitches. Carlos is from Phoenix, Arizona. Ask him to fill out some information about his background and all of that business, and not knowing the players all that well to start with, I got it back and looked at it, and lo and behold, it was in Spanish. And since I failed second-year high school Spanish, the only thing that I got out of it was that Carlos is from Phoenix, Arizona. Now, Carlos has a 2-0 record. His earned run average is 4.25, and he gets about 64% of his pitches in for strikes. So that is not a bad hand to be dealt as we start off here in the top of the first inning with the first batter up for Roswell, New Mexico will be Rene Morita. Morita playing second base tonight, and he steps in batting .423. He was 1 for 3 in the first game and 2 for 5 in the second game. So on the series to this point, 3 for 8. As I mentioned, the Saguaros in first place, 4 games ahead of Roswell. Alpine is that's from Texas. They are 5.5 games out. Then White Sands, New Mexico, 7 games out, and Santa Fe, New Mexico, is 11 games out. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1 as we get things underway. A rather toasty day here in Tucson, Arizona. 109 degrees as we started play tonight, and the count goes to 1-1. 109 is going to be at or near a record. Apparently they had a heat wave around here in 1990, as the next one is fouled off to the right side. And in 1990, both these days, today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, going to be right around the record-setting temperature. The record for today is 111, and for tomorrow is 109, and they suspect tomorrow's record is going to be broken. Swing on and a miss for the first out of the first inning. A strikeout victim is Rene Morita, and that'll bring up Roche Woodard. Woodard was batting in the 9th position last night. He did not play in the first game, and Mr. Woodard stepped up there and appointed himself very well. He went 2 for 4 and played a very fine left field tonight. They have him in right field. We'll set the infield in just a second for the Saguaros. First pitch ball is Ruben Rivera at third base. Devon Poole has moved over to second base. Check that over to shortstop from his second base position. Next pitch misses, and count will go to 2-0. Brian Lubeck is playing second base. He's listed as a pitcher, and I'll tell you the reason for all this shuffling around here, as Ryan Rentz is at first base. Next one misses outside, and the count will go to 3-0. The center fielder, Burnell Daly, really got plunked hard as he tried to spin away from a inside fastball and got hit on the back of the leg. Automatic strike there is a little outside, but we'll go for 3-1 now. Anyway, Burnell, trying to get out of a way of an inside low fastball, got really ripped on the back of his calf, and he's sitting out. So last night's shortstop, Michael Morris, next one is fouled off to the right side, has been moved out into center field. Morris is a master of all 3 places that he's been. He's been at third base and did a fine job there. Then they moved him over to shortstop, and he worked out well there. This one misses, and they'll be the first base runner of the game as Roche Woodard gets a walk, and that'll put a man on with 1 out here for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Cody Bishop stepping in. Cody struggling at the plate just a little bit, 1 for 9. Coming into this series, he was over 500, and now his batting average has dropped down to 406. Left-hander wheels and deals and misses outside, according to the umpire. We'll keep an eye on Woodard to see if he has a tendency to take off. Next pitch misses outside once again. So Carlos Diaz has dug himself a bit of a hole, going 3-0 to Woodard, then walking him, and now going 2-0 to Cody Bishop, the third hitter in the lineup. Swung on and fouled down the left field side. Giving chase to it is Adam Urbania. Urbania has just been very, very impressive in left field. Last night he went after a ball right at the foul line and gave up his body for it. Did not get it, unfortunately. It was foul, or actually was right on the line, and gave up a double on it, but he sure gave it the old college try. And then night before last, the final out of the game, he went against the outfield fence to pick that one up. The next pitch is fouled off, so things will even up at 2-2 to the center fielder, Cody Bishop. Checking on Woodard here. He has stolen 3, so he's not totally opposed to taking off. High floater makes it 3-2, so that's the second batter in a row that Diaz has gone 3-2. He went 3-2, got one fouled off, and then walked Woodard. He is currently on first base with one out here in the top of the first inning. Runner goes, swung on, and hit towards the gap in right center field. Giving chase is Morris, also after it is McKenna. It's scoring a run as they finally get the ball at the warning track, and going into third easily with a stand-up triple is going to be Cody Bishop. So as with Friday, or rather Thursday night's game, Roswell scores in the first inning, and as I mentioned before, they wound up losing both of them 7-1 in the Thursday night game and 7-3 in last night's contest. So off to a bit of a shaky start is Carlos Diaz, as he'll be facing Joey Miller. Miller is 2 for 8 on the series, batting .482. Umpire wandering out for some reason here to get a ball out. Miller is playing third base tonight. He was over at first base through the first game and the second game, and then later in the second game, he was switched over to third. So Miller stands in there, the fourth hitter in the lineup with a run in and one out here in the top of the first inning. Tucson Saguaros against the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. This is the Pecos League, and there are 10 teams in it, 5 in the north and 5 in the south. The teams stretch from Texas, West Texas, first pitch in for a ball. Stretch from West Texas up through Kansas, then over to Colorado, down to New Mexico, and now with the entry of the Tucson Saguaros, stretching over to Arizona. Diaz winds and deals. This one's headed towards the gap in left center field this time, and it will bound off the wall and be a double. Michael Morris has been a player that has had a tendency to really, oh my goodness, did he catch that? Holy cow, I had no idea. I thought it hit off the base of the wall. So Cody Bishop will score. The ball was out to about the, close to the 400-foot sign, maybe 380. And Morris somehow grabbed it just before it hit the wall and got the deep fly out. And I was just extolling the virtues of Morris giving it all, and he certainly did at that time for the second out. But that is a sacrifice fly, and that will bring Cody Bishop in for the second run of the inning. Boy, that's what happens when you make up your mind ahead of time that there was no chance, because Morris was a long way away and shallow, and somehow the ball hung up high enough to be able to get there and record the out as he went into a cloud of dust. Very, very impressive effort by Morris as the next pitch is swung on and missed by Cody Kaufman, third out of the inning. So at the end of one half inning of play, It is Roswell, New Mexico 2, and the Tucson Saguaros coming up to bat. And we have just seen one outstanding play by Michael Morris, getting that ball in deep left center field from shallow center field, and somehow or other scrambling in a cloud of dust and coming away with the ball. "22 pitches thrown there by Carlos Diaz in the first inning. Diaz only gave up one hit. He walked the second man, went 3-2 to Cody Bishop, and Bishop made him pay with a one-run RBI triple. And then Joey Miller, even though he was recorded on a spectacular play by Michael Morris, gets a run batted in, and we will go to the bottom of the first inning. Blake Oliver is the pitcher for Roswell, New Mexico. He has no record, is a 16.2 earned run average, but he does get about 63% of his pitches in for strikes. So as we've witnessed in the previous two games, the New Mexico pitching staff is a bit thin, especially if they're going to the third starter, and he has a 16.2 ERA. But you never know, maybe the young man having to get underway here, just getting accustomed to professional baseball. At this age, in many developments, they do struggle from time to time. Michael Morris stepping in, graduate of Tennessee Tech in social science, led the Golden Eagles to a conference championship as a senior, batted .338 at that time. So Morris is stepping in, playing center field this time out. He's been at third, he's been at shortstop, and now he's at center. And the reason for him being out in the pasture is because Brunell Daly, the center fielder, got clipped last night, and he is still in the dugout with a ice pack on the back of his calf. So Michael Morris stepping in. Morris is batting .500 in this series, 4 for 8. Overall, he's batting .385. He'll be followed by Poole and Retz. Missing with the first pitch outside. Morris played for this Roswell team last year and had a pretty good, I think it was like a .380 batting average with them as he looks at the second pitch outside for a ball. Joey Miller at third is on the grass because Morris has had a tendency to try to drop down a squeeze bunt or a drag bunt. Next pitch is a called strike, and the count will go to 2-1. Pretty warm here. 109 during the day. Did not set a record by only a couple of degrees. Record back to 1990. Wind blowing from left to right across the field, from left field to right field. This is a very, very extensive sports complex. At one time, Major Leagues had games of spring training here in Tucson. But then the greater Phoenix area decided that they wanted everything, and they started building stadiums and making tax break deals and things like that. Next one, a changeup swung on and missed. So the first batter for the Saguaros, Michael Morris, is down on strikes. Devon Poole, who normally plays second base, is over at shortstop tonight. Poole is 2 for 8 on the series, batting .404 on the year. Korea sends spring training teams over to this complex, but there are no high-level major league teams here. The professional Pecos League came in there this first year. and they are struggling just a bit in attendance, but that would be expected for the first time out. And the other thing that would be expected about it as we get a second ball is that there have been teams here, and they have left. They had AAA Padres here. They had another AAA franchise in here prior to this, and it's a little hard to build up a following when your people are constantly leaving. Fouled off to the right side for a strike. Mr. Poole attended the University of St. Mary. They're called the Spires. They're an NAIA team that plays out of Leavenworth, Kansas, as the 2-1 pitch is on the way inside and will go to 3-1. Poole is not necessarily somebody you want to put on because he has a tendency to fly around those bases. He has stolen 7, only been caught once. 3-1 pitch. Fouled off to the right side into the stands and will go full here. Three and two on the hitter, Devon Poole. Nobody on, one out here in the bottom of the first inning with the Saguaros down 2-0 already. This one bounded over the pitcher. Coming in to get it is Morita, and he does not get it over there. Morita was very, very deep, and the ball was just high hopped over the pitcher, Blake Oliver. Morita did the best he could by coming and charging it hard, but the fleet-footed Poole beat it out for the base hit for the Saguaros. This is Ryan Rentz. Rentz kind of came out of a slump last night. He was 2 for 4. After being 0 for 5 in the first game and also struggling on the road. So the batter in the third spot, the first baseman, Ryan Rentz, might just be coming out of that slump. Boy, he got off to a great start. First or second game of the season, we watched him bang a couple of triples, one in the right center gap and one in the left center gap. He has pretty good wheels, and he will run. And I did mention that Poole has stolen 7 out of 8. And, of course, with Blake Oliver being a right-hander, he's not going to be held as close as he was last night with lefties. First pitch inside. 2 runs on just 1 hit. There was a walk mixed in there, and, of course, a triple will always help out. So the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders, and if you're tuned in from New Mexico, good evening. Hope things are not quite as toasty in your area. Get a nice warm wind compounding the issue. This one hit towards Morita, and he starts a double play, and unfortunately the throw from the shortstop Johnson was offline, and so fielder's choice will stay with Rentz as he stays on first base safely. No error committed there because you don't consider the double play automatic. Adam Urbania comes up there. Boy, Adam really sacrificed his body last night going after a fly ball down the left field line. He is 3 for 7 in the series and batting .382. And he is in the 4th spot with 2 outs now and a runner on first in the form of Ryan Rentz. Rentz has a very outstanding secondary lead, as they call it. You get a decent lead, and as soon as the pitcher releases, you get that secondary lead, and he had a giant one, but it was fouled off, and so that doesn't help anything out along that line. Oh, 1 pitch set. Look at first, and he takes off, and the pitcher got totally confused, but threw it finally to second base and unassisted to the shortstop, Johnson, as that's now the second time in 2 nights that a Saguaros runner has all of a sudden taken off and has wound up getting either run down or tagged out straight. So only 3 batters come up, and there is 1 hit on the board for Tucson. 14 pitches thrown by Blake Oliver. And at the end of 1 full inning of play, It is 2 for Roswell and nothing for the Saguaros. Tucson has a tendency to get down early, at least here at home. They'll get down 1 or 2, and then up until now they have been very comfortable in coming from behind, as we note that a new pitcher is coming in. Apparently, Coach Drody was not particularly impressed with Carlos Diaz in his outing. So we will try to get a number off the back, as of course they come in straight towards us. And in the, well, I see a 5 there, so we'll try to catch a number here as soon as we can. It's 15. So we will look up who number 15 is here. Pepe Gomez is number 15, so Pepe will come in after only 1 inning of work. So a quick hook for Carlos Diaz. Gave up 2 runs, got 1 strikeout, walked a batter. That will explode the ERA. It'll go off the chart. Gomez comes in with a rather robust 10.56 ERA in 7 2/3 innings of work. He's given up 13 hits and 9 runs. He will be facing Bobby Webb in the 6th spot, followed by Bryce Skelton and Blake Oliver, the pitcher. Infielders and catcher getting all of their signals straightened out there. Danny Droll is catching tonight. He shares times with Jesse Baker. Skelton did not come to bat last night. Actually, he came to bat for as a pinch hitter and struck out. Blake Oliver has not been in the series. Christian Johnson, the 4th hitter in the lineup in the 2nd inning here, is 0 for 3. And the first pitch in for a ball. Checking the outfield, Urbania is in left, Morrison center, and McKenna in right. Next pitch is inside, and the count will go to 2-0. Diaz looked like he had a little bit of pop on the speed, but the ball was straight and flat. He had no movement on his fastball. At the knees for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Everybody pretty much straight away. Rivera is in a little bit at 3rd base. Rentz is about 3/4 of the way back as ball 3 comes in. Diaz threw 22 pitches in that 1st inning, and that is not necessarily something that you would like to see in the 1st inning. That does not bode well overall. Swung on and slapped towards Poole at short, spins, throws, gets his man. Bryce Skelton will be the next hitter as Poole shows a little bit of range. Played mostly shortstop in his collegiate career at St. Mary's, so it's not totally unfamiliar to him. Morris has played shortstop, and Ruben Rivera, who is at 3rd tonight, has also played shortstop. This one swung on and popped high to the right field. Coming in is McKenna. It'll be his call, and he takes it. First pitch swinging is Skelton. Not generally a great idea. Want to see what the pitcher has to offer before you start swinging the bat. But once again, that kind of discipline is something that you really have to work on as you move up through the minor leagues. And the independent league players, in many cases, are at or near the lowest echelon of organized baseball. Blake Oliver swings and misses. This is the pitcher. Oliver is batting .500, has one hit in 2 times at bat. That will change rapidly, either up or down, depending on this at-bat, as things do in the first couple of times you're at bat. Swung on and fouled away, and it's 0-2. The thing is, you find about most of these players here, they come from small schools, either Division II or NAIA, as the umpire is walking off a little bit of a stinger, rattling his right hand around just a bit. The trainer for the Saguaros offering some assistance, and it is refused. So we'll come back and try it again. The umpires are also working their way up. All right, the trainer does come out, and it's probably going to be a little bit of spray ice there, a little nitrogen air mix that really cools things down very quickly. And so the home plate umpire will shake it off and come back. Everybody here trying to work their way up, and as I mentioned before, most of these players are from Division II or III and even NAIA schools, and so they've been kind of overlooked in the scouting combines that go on, the scouts that move around. Fouled off to the right side, and will go keep the count at 0-2. So what they're trying to do is come into an independent league like this. There are several of them around. This one has 10 teams in it, the Pecos League, and work on their skills and also work on seeing if they can get a scout or somebody to take a peek at them. Most of the players will get up to maybe AA, although I did notice the other day that one of the other teams in the league, and I can't remember which one, was ballyhooing the fact, strike 3, and third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, and no errors, and nobody left on base. So after 1.5, it is still the Roswell Invaders 2, and the Saguaros from Tucson nothing. Anyway, to complete the story, they were ballyhooing the fact that one of their pitchers that had been in the Pecos League was having a pitching debut with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves struggling just a bit with their pitching staff, so that gives you an opportunity. Many, many years ago when I was in organized ball, unfortunately, I wound up with a team that had 6,432 fine shortstops, and that left me completely out. And in those days, reserve clause and all that business, you never got out from underneath your ball club unless they traded you, so that's the way that game is played. So lots of times to get up to the big leagues, you have to have a lot of luck. Things have to go right at the right time. When you have the big league scout in the stands, you suddenly go 4 for 5 and drive in 6 runs, and you're on the map. Unfortunately, if there is a scout in the stands and you have an off night, then you're kind of up the creek. 11 pitches, half the number of pitches that turned in by Diaz in the first inning, or turned in by Gomez here in the second. So we'll move on to the Saguaro half of the second inning. Still down 2-0. And we'll see 4, 5, and 6 come up. Urbanio, who is at the plate, when an ill-timed movement from first base got Devon Poole tagged out. And it'll bring up Thomas McKenna and Danny Droll. McKenna is part of a interesting story that we'll get to in a second. Up there. He was with Slippery Rock University back in Pennsylvania in 2015. In 48 games, he had 8 home runs and batted .427. His on-base and slugging percentage put together was 1.2, which is seriously good. On base nearly half the time, and had a slugging percentage of nearly 72%. Looks at a ball inside. And missing again is Blake Oliver his second inning of work, and behind 2-0. He was behind 2-0 to Michael Morris, the leadoff hitter, struck him out. Behind 2-0 against Poole and gave up a base hit. This one lifted softly, and it looks like it will just drop in. Coming up hobbling is Christian Johnson. So we'll see if he is able to continue. I don't know if he hit a sprinkler head or made a move at the last second to try to stay out of Morita's way. Morita very wisely ran past the ball because he was running in the opposite direction of where the ball needed to be thrown. So he yielded to Johnson, and maybe in the bang play there, Johnson rolled his ankle a little bit because he came up hobbling. But all of that aside, that puts Ivania on first base with nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning, and Thomas McKenna coming up. McKenna from St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn, New York. That is a Division III school, and on their website there was a big story that Brian Lubach and himself were the first two from their program to ever sign a professional contract. So both of them are in the lineup tonight, and we did leave a little note on their website that the game was going to be televised, webcasted tonight. So maybe we have somebody from Brooklyn, New York, or associated to that, paying attention to what's going on. Morita back for the short fly pop into right field, and that'll be the first out of the bottom of the second inning. Kind of keeping an eye on the shortstop Johnson. He still is slightly favoring that left ankle. So we'll see if he comes out. Right now he's the catcher. Danny Droll stepping up for the Saguaros. He was one for two in the first game. Got a walk and got hit by a pitch. Stands in their batting 438. It's Danny Droll and Jesse Baker sharing the catching duties for the Saguaros, and they do a fine job. There's no real drop-off when you have one or the other in there. That's something that a manager dearly loves. Oliver taking a long look at first base and comes to the plate and misses inside. So Mr. Oliver is having his troubles getting the first pitch strike over. On deck is Brian Lubeck, the young man that I mentioned that was in concert with McKenna back at St. Mary's or St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn, New York. Taking a long look at first base. This one swung on and hit down the right field, but it gets out of play, and it'll be an even count at 1-1. Urbania has taken off on three occasions and been successful at stealing second. So it would be worth casting an eye towards him at first base. 1-1 count. Again, a long look at first to the plate. Curveball drops in for a strike, and it'll go to 1-2. One thing that you really do not want is a long and slow pitcher because it gets the defense kind of back on their heels if it takes a long time between pitches. One of the most notable fast workers in the major leagues as the next one comes inside, and the count will go even. Was Randy Jones of the San Diego Padres happened to be at a game one night that he completed in about an hour and 50 minutes. Randy would get that ball and come right back to the plate with his sinker, and the offense would pound it into the dirt, and they'd go 3 up, 3 down, over again. Pitches swung on weekly, and the last strikeout for number two. Blake Oliver got the first batter in the first inning on a strikeout, and now gets Danny Droll on an excuse me swing for a second out in the bottom of the second inning. Now with the Brian Lubeck up there, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go ahead and run from first base. Avania has three stolen bases, as I mentioned before. Lubeck basically listed as a pitcher and was a pitcher for his college, rather successful pitcher back there, as a matter of fact. So he's up there only batting 143 as the troops are a little bit thin with the injury recorded to Daly out in left field. As a matter of fact, Lubeck was the player of the year in the college conference. He went 7-2 in his senior year with a 3.06 ERA. A Brooklyn College, and of course, I suspect as part of his entry assignment, he had to say that he liked the New York Yankees. Can't imagine any other reason for that. Swung on and pounded in the dirt in front of the plate and foul. So our count will go to 1-1. Couple of outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Leadoff batter got a base hit. And so far, Adam Urbania has languished at first base as Thomas McKenna popped out to the second baseman and Danny Droll on an excuse me swing struck out. 1-1 pitch to the seventh hitter in the lineup, move over to first base to let Urbania know that Oliver was paying attention to him. Center fielder Cody Bishop is in rather shallow, swung over towards the line as Woodard in right field, and pretty much straight away as Cody Kaufman in left. Swung on and pounded foul to the left side once again, and will run the counter up to 1-2. Blake had 14 pitches in the first inning and is hovering right around that number here in the bottom of the second. Still toasty warm, that it has fallen below 100 degrees yet. 109 today in Tucson. Did not set a record, but they're looking for one tomorrow. Way outside, and a nice job by Cody Kaufman to snag that ball and keep the runner from advancing as the count goes even at 2-2. Still 109, huh? Okay. Gentle wind from the left field corner to the right field corner. But that gentle wind is bringing nothing but convection oven type of activity and keeping the temperature toasty. Misses. We caught him on the outside corner for a called strike three looking, and that will be the third out of the bottom of the second inning. So the Saguaros go quietly in the second, even though they got the first batter on, and the score after 2 innings of play is Roswell 2 and Tucson nothing. Well, all of the games here in Tucson start at 7 o'clock in the evening. The only day game they play is these two teams will travel to Bisbee, Arizona, which is a couple of hours away from Tucson. Bisbee was in the league, and somehow or other an agreement was made. I think what happened was this stadium was spoken for contractually on Sunday. So they do play that Sunday game over there. It is a 1 o'clock start time in Bisbee. So the reason the kids run the bases in the middle of the game here in Tucson is because obviously with little kids, you're not going to keep them around until 10 or 10:30 at night to be able to run the bases after the game. So a little concession to what's going on in the youngsters. As we go to the top of the third inning. And out for his second inning of work is Pepe Gomez. Gomez did not start the game. Carlos Diaz did. Diaz gave up two runs in the top of the first inning through 22 pitches and struggled mightily. Although he struck out the first batter that he faced. We're going to go the ninth position and then up to 1 and 2. Christian Johnson striding up to the plate does not appear to be favoring that left ankle that he kind of twisted a little bit on a play up the middle. First pitch is down low for a ball. Roswell, we've moved the game over to your locality. 82 degrees there. Oh well. Fouled off to the right side into the stands. 1-1 count. Christian Johnson went 0 for 3 in the first game. And was 0 for 1 in last night's game. He came in as a pinch hitter, batting 321 overall. Wrapped towards the hole, over to get it his pool, but he can't get enough mustard on the throat to get the out. And so Christian Johnson, the ninth hitter in the lineup, will be the first batter on here in the top of the third inning. And we'll go to Morita and Woodard. Morita struck out in the first inning against Diaz, but he's up there to face Gomez for the first time. Couple of Johnson brothers. David is a pitcher, and Christian is an infielder, utility player. Gomez comes to the plate and catches a changeup right on the knees for a called strike. Christian Johnson has stolen one, not been caught, so steal and one attempt. Gomez says, "Hi, how are you? I'll let you know that I am aware you're over there." Good idea. Morita was 1 for 3 in the first game, 2 for 5 last night, so 3 for 8 as he fouls one straight back and gets himself in a hole 0-2. Top of the third, Saguaros down 2-0. They gave up two in the top of the first inning. Nothing last inning, and we're into the third with nobody out and a runner on first. Another how are you throw to first base. Right now, Johnson does not have a particularly large lead. You generally like to see somebody a body length and a step off, but Gomez is paying a little bit attention to him anyway. 1 and 2 on the outside waist pitch. W-A-S-T-E, not W-A-I-S-T. Spending a lot of attention to the runner at first. As we mentioned, Johnson has only gone once. Does not have that huge lead. Definitely not a body length and a step. To the plate on the inside corner for a called strike three. First out of the inning, that'll bring up Woodard. Woodard earned his spot second in the lineup after being ninth last night, going 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles. Takes a look down at the third base coach to see what's going on. With Woodard's speed, and he certainly displayed that last night a couple of times, going into left center field to flag down what appeared to be hits a couple of times. Wouldn't be beyond to have him try to drag one, pitch out. Nothing's going on. So one ball will be Woodard's count as we go to the second pitch of his at bat. He walked in the first inning, came around and scored. Pitch rides high. Woodard walked and then came home extremely easily, all the way from first base on a booming triple by Cody Bishop. And then Bishop was driven in by Joey Miller. Changeup rides high, and it'll go 3-0. Miller's fly ball to left center field. Somehow, some way was snagged by Michael Morris. I still am absolutely astonished that A, he got there, and B, that he could grab it just before it hit the ground as we get a second man on base with a ball four walk to Woodard. That'll move Christian Johnson over to second with one out here. Cody Bishop, Mr. Triple will come up there. 2 for 10 on the series with that triple. The 406 batting average that he came in with would be boosted just a bit with the first inning hit. So let's see if Gomez can work himself out of a runner in scoring position and one out. Can you say double play? At the set, then looks back. Gomez has a rather inflated ERA as we mentioned when he first came in. Catches the inside corner on what appeared to be a changeup. So strike one count to Cody Bishop. Bishop, the center fielder, has been through the previous two games. Patrols a lot of area out there, but does not have the strongest of arms. Missing outside 1-1. Wind is pretty consistent. The flag is not straight out, definitely out a little bit. So anything that a left-hander might get into the jet stream headed towards right field would probably be aided by the wind. 2-1 count to the center fielder Cody Bishop. 0 for 4 in the first game, 1 for 5 last night. And he stands in there with the triple tonight, missing outside, and it'll go 3-1. Three-one pitch on the way with runners on second and first, line down to left field. Ruben Rivera almost caught it, but it was pretty hard, so the bases will be jacked here. And that will bring up the fourth hitter in the lineup, Joey Miller. So Woodard moves down to second base, and Christian Johnson moves over to third. And taking a look at Joey Miller, he has six home runs on the season. This is not exactly the guy that you'd like to see if you are Tucson. This is exactly the guy you'd like to see up there if you're Roswell. So we'll see how it plays out. Curveball misses outside. As Pepe Gomez appears to be aiming the ball rather than throwing it. Sometimes if you begin as a pitcher to think too much, you try to will the ball instead of rearing back and just firing it. Missed that outside corner. That's a pitch that was called a strike frequently last night. But the home plate umpire of last night, Cam Couture, is on the bases right now. And that little outside pitch did not get the benefit of a strike. So 2-0 for Gomez with the bases loaded and misses outside and almost at the same spot. So Pepe is on the verge of walking in the third run for Roswell. They lead 2-0 here in the top of the third inning with the bases loaded and one out. Missed again outside, and that will be an RBI walk. Sends Bishop over to second base. Woodard will come down to third, and that's a problem in and of itself because if a ball gets away from the catcher, Woodard has got blinding speed and would have an opportunity to come down and take care of business. Coach Drody had the quick hook in the first inning, getting Carlos Diaz out of there. Gomez having given up one with one out here in the top of the third inning as the Saguaros dip down 3-0. Crowd looks a little bit less than we had last night. Thursday night, Friday night, relatively decent crowds here, considering first year, not much publicity going on. High and outside, and Pepe is having a terrible time finding the plate. He struck out the second batter to visit him in this inning, and then went 3-0 in a walk, went 3-1 in a walk, went 3-0 in a walk, and now this is inside quarter strike, and goes 1-1. Woodard at third, Bishop at second, and Miller on first base. 2 walks and a base hit. Bishop was the one that got the base hit. Swung on and hit towards Lubeck. Or check that, thrown towards Lubeck. That's right. He goes to Poole, and they get the double play, 4-6-3. And I want to tell you that pitcher's more than best friend. Second out is recorded at second base, and that will end the inning on an outstanding play on the combination of Lubeck to Retz. But not before one run comes in for a total of three here for the game for Roswell. They lead 3-0 after 2.5 innings of play. Thirty-four pitches total over two innings. For Pepe Gomez, he threw 23 pitches in this inning and gave up one run. Carlos Diaz, the starter, threw 22 pitches in the first inning and gave up two runs. 2 hits recorded by Roswell, so they have 3 runs on 3 hits, and no errors as we head into the bottom of the third inning. We've seen Tucson come back from 1-0 and 2-0 counts, but we have yet to see them come back from a 3-0 deficit. Blake Oliver out there. No commercial breaks in the ball game so far. This is only about the fourth game that we've had on. Have not had an opportunity to invite anybody to sponsor. If you happen to be in a mood to sponsor this, we'd sure love to hear from you. Well, I understand from technical staff here that we have a little bit of an echo going on the broadcast. We went through the first couple of innings without it. Had a couple of three innings with a really bad echo last night. Have no clue what's causing it. And after we went bananas trying to figure it out, all of a sudden it disappeared on about the fifth inning. So I don't know whether it has to do with the bandwidth being overloaded on Saturday night or what. But that's the way it stands right now. So we'll go to the bottom of the order for Tucson. Ruben Rivera in the 8th spot. And the pitcher spot coming up after that. We'll see if Gomez comes out. Blake Oliver for his third inning of work comes up with a first pitch strike. He's given up no runs on 2 hits to this point. And had a fair economy of pitches with only 29. This one wrapped towards the gap in left center field, and that's going to drop and more than likely be a double. They're having trouble picking the ball up, but gliding into second base is Ruben Rivera. So Rivera leads off the inning with a nice double. The Saguaros led off last inning with a base hit, but were unable to move anybody along. So Ruben gets So Pepe Gomez will step in. Check and see if he has anything offensively. Has been to bat three times and has come away with nada. So I'm going to guess Pepe might be around the bunt. What do you think? Everybody's studying the situation, and in fact, he does come around. Had that bat at an angle, and that is somewhat a no-no. You want to have the bat more level and at the top of the strike zone, although There is a school of thought about keeping the bat at an angle, but either way, you need to have it at the top of the strike zone, and make sure that you go down instead of up. If you notice, Pepe kind of lunged at the ball. Basically, all you want to do is reach out and catch it with the end of the bat. Bunting somewhat a lost art in this day and age. So we'll see how it works here with a 1-1 count. Pepe around the bunt has the bat way too low. Fortunately, has to get back out of the way because of a high pitch. The reason you worry about having a bat low on that is if they come up, then you've got a pop-up going on. You want to start at the top of the strike zone and work down. So that you avoid the ball up in the air. We'll see what happens with Mr. Gomez at 2-1 around to bunt once again. This time gets it down, and the runner at second base, because the ball was bunted rather sharply to the first base side, held on. So the 1-2-4 out will be the first out of the inning. As Morita got over to cover it, Skelton came down to field it, and the reason the runner did not go from second base is because when it's bunted down that first baseline, the first baseman fielding the ball has a full view of third base in front of him. You want to get that ball down the third baseline, so the pitcher, if he fields it, has to turn and throw, which gives him an opportunity to be able to throw it away. Michael Morris steps in, struck out in the first inning. Ducks on the pond, as they say, with second base being occupied by Ruben Rivera, who got a booming double to the left center field gap. Down 3-0, it would probably be very nice for Tucson to be able to at least answer back one here. Oliver, long look back at second base, comes to the plate, and catches that outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Miller is at third, Johnson at short, Morita is at second, and Skelton at first. Outfield left to right, Kaufman, Bishop, and Woodard. To the plate, high and away. Two-one count on the hitter. Misses with that outside fastball, and it's going to go 3-1. Somehow or other, I got my wires crossed here. In fact, left field is Bobby Webb. Be a little tough for Cody Kaufman to catch the ball and then run out the left field and cover there. No real harm in getting the walk there because that sets up the double play. Got one out here, and the runner on second base in scoring position. Poole is up there. He got a base hit his first time up. And then was erased on a bounding ball to the second baseman, Morita. Erased at second base. Oliver checking both runners slow, comes to the plate. Curveball gets that inside corner for a called strike. Tucson down 3-0 here, and threatening a runner on second and first with one out here at the bottom of the third inning. Oliver very slow to the plate. Checking second, comes to the plate, misses way outside, and misses outside enough to be considered a wild pitch, and that will send two runners into scoring position. So there they are for Devon Poole. Poole in Thursday night's game got a two-run double to key a five-run third inning, which resulted in a 7-1 win for the Saguaros. With first base open, it is a 1-1 count. Swung on and fouled off the right side. And we have one and two on the hitter. Devon Poole came through big time a couple of nights ago. Would look to have that occur again as far as the local gang is concerned. Base hit in the first inning, looking at a 1-2 count here in the third with runners on second and third. Up the middle, slow roller. Johnson over to get it, and throws out the runner at first base, but that will be a run batted in for Devon Poole. So a 6-3 out makes the second out of the inning. Moving up to second base is Michael Morris, and coming in to score to break the ice here for the Saguaros is Ruben Rivera, who led the inning off with a double. Ryan Rentz up there. Got on a fielder's choice in which they erased Devon Poole at second base. And then Ryan in turn was erased at second base on an unassisted put out by the shortstop Johnson. One ball, no strikes, two outs. In the bottom of the third with one in. Critically important to get that leadoff runner on. That's exactly what the Saguaros did this inning. Changeup misses outside. And the count will go to 2-0. Morris surprisingly has a lot more speed than he looks like when he runs. The weirdest thing. He covers a lot of ground, but he doesn't look like he's working that hard at it. Almost to the backstop outside, and 3-0 will be the count. This might be an intentional or unintentional walk. Certainly do not want to give Retz, who has fence power, an opportunity to get a bat out, especially with first base open and two outs. Pitch catches the inside corner. Retz did a good job of laying off a pitch that was not hittable. And on the other side of things, Blake Oliver did an outstanding job of keeping that ball inside and low so that Retz couldn't get his arms out on it. 3-1. Nearly hit him, but that's all right. It'll be ball four. And as I mentioned, really no harm on that particular walk. Because it sets up the force at second base. The harm is that you're bringing up Adam Urbana, who is batting .382 and is 3 for 7 in the series. Actually 4 for 8 because he got a base hit in the second inning. So runners on first and third, a couple of outs, and the dangerous Urbana stepping in. He is the fourth hitter in the lineup. Hit a 2-0 pitch to left field for his base hit. This one swung on and belted to right. And it'll count a run for the Saguaros. And put runners on first and second. So Adam did not wait an instant. Took the first pitch that he saw and hit it to right field for an RBI. Sending Retz over to second base. And sending Michael Morris home with the second run of the inning and the game for the Saguaros. And the score right now is Roswell 3 and Tucson 2. Twice in this series, Tucson has erupted for 5 runs in an inning. One time it was in fact with two outs. So there are two outs right now as McKenna looks at ball. Blake Oliver in his third inning of work here. Has two strikeouts. And would dearly love to get a third one here. This one wrapped out towards Morita, scoops it up and lofts it over to first base, and that will be the end of the inning. Tucson racking up an answer of a couple of runs, and after three full innings of play, it is Roswell 3 and Tucson 2. Well, Oliver
delivering
most
the
pitches
most
in
pitches
a particular inning
that he
has
has
delivered so far. He went 14 in the first,
14
15 in the second, but 23 here in the third, giving up the two runs. 52 pitches overall for Mr. Oliver, and he has given up the two runs on four hits. So we will cruise to the top of the fourth inning. Mentioned we don't have any commercial sponsorship here, so if you have a business and a pocket full of change, give the club a call. That's why we have silence between the innings. Get things organized for the next inning of play. And so for Roswell, we'll be looking at the 6th, 7th, and 8th is Bobby Webb, the left fielder, Bryce Skelton at first base, and the pitcher spot, Blake Oliver. As Pepe Gomez comes out to start his third inning, he is not the starter. He came in relief after two runs were given up in the first inning. Down low for a ball. Webb in the second inning grounded out to Poole at shortstop. Poole making a nice move to his left, gathering the ball up behind the second base bag and whirling and throwing out the runner Webb at first base. Three scheduled hitters do not have a hit amongst them. This one missing outside and 3-0 count. That is where Gomez got in trouble with the second, third, and fourth hitters in the lineup, walking two and giving up a base hit as the automatic 3-1. We've got one of the local television camera people down here, but unfortunately he is not identified. We've had very nice coverage from Channel 9 and also from Channel 4 in the Tucson area. Well, Webb will put him on first base with Bryce Skelton coming up. Skelton pinch hit last night, did not play in the first game. So Skelton is 0 for 1. His overall batting average 368. And the Roswell Invaders are not interested in playing small ball by trying to bunt him around. 1-0 count. Drops in there for a strike. Thought he called the first one a strike. Maybe not. We will see when it plays itself out. Swung on and missed. Yes, indeed. That was strike three. So the scoreboard missed one. That's okay. Because I can miss two or three in a ball game myself. That'll bring up the pitcher spot. Blake Oliver stepping in. 1 for 3 on the year. He struck out in the second inning for the third out of the inning. Runner on first base in the form of Bobby Webb. First pitch is way outside. Webb has not attempted, nor has he stolen any bases. But you would think somebody that has outfield speed would also show that speed on the bases. Change up, swung on and missed, 1-1. Gomez, the pitcher, Danny Droll, the catcher, got Rivera, Lubeck, and Retz, third, short, second, and first. Outfield Urbania. Morris is in center in place of Vernell Daly. Daly got whacked on the back of his calf by a pitch ball yesterday and has had ice on it almost consistently ever since then. Well, Oliver around acting like he's going to bunt, and the pitch comes in high for a 2-1 count. Urbania, Morris, and McKenna left to right in the outfield. Morris is playing extremely short. Even though it's a right-handed hitter, McKenna is back in right field. And the pitch is swung on and missed for a 2-2 count. Urbania is back a little bit towards the line in left field. But boy, Morris is playing a very shallow center field. Fouled off the end of the right side. And we'll come to the sixth pitch of the at-bat. If we have an echo on the play-by-play, my apologies. We think it might be the system, the internet system that we are using, our equipment. But of course, we'd like to blame somebody else other than ourselves. Misses outside, so we'll go to the seventh pitch on a 3-2 count. It'll be interesting to see if they put the runner Webb in motion at first base. We have one out and one on in the top of the fourth inning. Webb is not going. The ball is wrapped into left field. Urbania over quickly to get it, and that will hold Webb up at second base. But a base hit, the fourth of the day for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders, puts runners on first and second, and that's exactly what the situation was in the third inning. First and second with one out. And the Invaders did wind up cashing in one of those runs to get to their current 3 versus 2 against Tucson. Christopher Johnson, the batter. He is the shortstop. On a real tough play up the middle, he kind of twisted his ankle, but as we've watched him since then, he doesn't seem to be favoring it at all. Pepe Gomez to the set, comes in, catches that outside corner for a called strike. On deck is Rene Morita. Morita has struck out twice, but he has been productive. 3 of 8 in the series so far. Inside almost hits him. We'll even it up at 1-1. So basically, Morita is 3 for 10 and have struggled the first two times at bat tonight. 1-1 count, first and second. Hit high and hard to Urbania, but right at him in left field. So a line drive out to the left fielder for the Saguaros, and that is the second out of the inning. So the infield can drop back a little bit. Morita struck out twice, looking in the third and swinging in the first. From the left side, pushes McKenna in right field back a few steps. But Morris is still very shallow. Hits one back towards us for strike one. Morris has fairly decent speed, but normally you just don't play center field that short. Next pitch is in for a ball, and the count will go to 1-1. Top of the fourth, nobody across, but there are runners on first and second. Couple of outs here. Pepe Gomez sets to the plate, catches the outside corner, and will run it out to 1-2. Gomez 1-2, belted to right field, but foul. Struck the ball real well, but was out in front of it. One hopped into the right field stands. And we'll come back and work again at 1 and 2. Couple of outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Runner in scoring position goes for the kill and misses it on the outside corner. Gets a howl from the Saguaro dugout. 2-2 count set to go. On deck is Shea Woodard. Had a couple of doubles last night. Gomez stretching it out, taking a little bit of time here to get things together. 2-2 the count. Swung on and missed for strike three. For the Saguaros, a nice time to come out with a strikeout, as there was a runner in scoring position. No runs, one hit. And two left on. And at the end, 3.5 innings of play, it is Roswell 3 and the Tucson Saguaros 2. He's got to learn how to hit that bag in full stride. The young man that came in first is someone that we have invited to come up here and help us out. He's going to be going into the 7th grade at a middle school here in the area. He wanted to go down there and run the worst way, and he actually ran in the best way. Like I said, we're going to have to teach him how to hit that bag in full stride. I love the informality of minor league baseball. Don't have to worry about directors and technical directors, spotters, and all that other kind of stuff. Just delighted you could join us tonight. Thank you so much. And if we still have that echo going, I don't know what to tell you. We have bumped things around and moved things around until we're cross-eyed. And cannot figure out what the devil is doing. So we're going to either lay it off on YouTube or the internet system here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, where it's toasty. 109 at game time, and I doubt very seriously if it has fallen much at all. Cody Kaufman is the catcher, and out of the last four times that he has thrown to second base in the warm-ups, the throw has been off. So I'm just wondering if the Saguaros have picked up on that. It'll be Droll, Lubeck, and Rivera. Droll struck out in the second inning on an excuse me swing. I'm sure the young man would love to have that pitch back. Misses outside. Blake Oliver starting his fourth inning of work here. He has struck out three along the way. Swung on and hit Johnson at short. 6-3 out for the first out of the inning. You know, not a lot of people keep score anymore. Used to be you'd sit at home and do it. And in the stands, looking around the stands, I see a couple of people that have scorecards out. But each of the defensive positions have a number assigned to them so that you can kind of do this thing in shorthand. Brian Lubeck looks at the first pitch inside for a ball. Bryant struck out looking in the second inning. Anyway, the pitcher is considered to be position number one, the catcher two. First baseman three. Swung on and missed for a 1-1 count now. Second base 4, third base 5. The shortstop is considered to be 6. 7, 8, and 9 left, center, and right. So when you say 6-3, that indicates that the shortstop picked up the ball and tossed it over to the first baseman. Slow curve inside, catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 1 and 2. Remember many years ago on the pitch that swung on and pounded down towards the third baseline and foul. The fantastic, wonderful, spectacular Vin Scully filled about 35 minutes in a fog-out game or a fog-delayed game at Candlestick Park up in San Francisco by discussing a scorebook and how it scored. Inside misses. So we'll even it all out here at 2 and 2. Vinny's retiring this year. Just almost makes me want to cry. What a fantastic play-by-play guy Vinny Scully is. Swung on and missed, strike three, second out of the inning. I went and bought a movie called For Love of the Game because Vin Scully's voice is all over it. Obviously a baseball story. And somebody made comment to me in listening to the movie that, he was working from a script, and he may or may not have it sounded exactly like Vin sounds when he does a ball game. And to not have him on those broadcasts is just going to leave a huge hole as far as I'm concerned. First pitcher called strike at the knees. Rivera got a double and came around to score the first Saguaros run in the third inning. Moved up to third base on a wild pitch with Devon Poole at the plate. This one wrapped right back up the middle, and we'll have a two-out base runner. And then Rivera came around when Poole hit a sharp ground ball to the shortstop. Had to range to his left and could not try to get the runner going from third to home. So Pepe Gomez will come up. Pepe hit back to the pitcher in the third inning. Recorded the first out of the inning. Tried to bunt it twice, and then two strikes on him, swung away. We'll see if he's bunting again. Not this time. This time towards Morita. Morita gets him over to first base. A little offline, but the first baseman Skelton uses his head and gets over there and tags the runner out for the third out of the inning. So the third out of the inning will bring up the top of the order for the Saguaros next at bat. No runs, one hit. That's the fifth hit for Roswell so far. They've scored three runs to get that. So at the end of four full innings of play, our score continues to be 3-2 in favor of the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. 11 pitches for Oliver, and that is low so far. His high has been 23. 63 pitches on the evening for the right-hander from Roswell, New Mexico. Well, we're moving off to the top of the fifth inning, and the temperature around here plummeted all the way down to 106. And the wind continues to be warmish, blowing from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole. So anything hit towards the right field side will be wind aided to a certain extent. Pepe Gomez still on the mound for the Saguaros. He enters his fourth inning of work. He did not start the game. As Carlos Diaz started the game, gave up a couple of runs in the first inning, having some problems. Of course, it didn't help a whole lot that Cody Bishop got a triple out of it. Rochelle Woodard playing right field tonight. He was in left field last night. He went 2 for 4. Was in the ninth slot. And now they have him in the second position as Gomez works to the plate and misses down low for a ball. Defensively for the Saguaros, it's Rivera at third. Poole has moved from second to short. Normally he's at second base. Now 1-1 count. But tonight, because of the shuffling with the injury of Burnell Daly, it's Poole at short. Lubeck, who is basically considered to be a pitcher, is over at second base. And at first base, his usual position, Ryan Retz. Woodard at the plate. Just misses outside. Count runs out to 3-1 and swung on and missed. So we'll fill it out here. Woodard walked in the first inning and scored in the third inning. Was on the verge of walking here in the fifth inning with a 3-1 count, now 3-2. Hit right back over the middle, and it's going to be a seeing eye base hit. Lubeck did get over there and get his hands on it, could not get enough on it to throw the rather speedy Woodard out at first base. So the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders have their leadoff hitter here in the top of the fifth inning with Cody Bishop with two hits under his belt tonight. One a triple and an RBI and a base hit in the third inning. So Cody on a bit of a tear here after going 0 for 4 in the first game and 1 for 5 here in the second. Hits it out to right field over to get it is McKenna, and on his way to third will be Woodard. Throw is cut off in time. So first swinging. Bishop gets his third hit of the night as he is really on fire, moving all the way over to third. Is going to be Woodard, and with nobody out, runners on the corners here. And Roswell, New Mexico threatening to expand their 3-2 lead here in the top of the fifth inning. Joey Miller steps up the plate. He's batting .482. Walked in a run in the third inning. The bases were loaded, and he got a walk, so he gets credited for an RBI there. And hit a fly ball to left center field, which I'm still shaking my head as to how Michael Morris got over there and caught that ball. But of course, the deep fly ball scored the runner Bishop from third, and that's where they got their first two. They added one more in the third inning, and now threatening here in the fifth, off-speed pitch, fisted towards first base, and a soft pop out to the first baseman Ryan Retz will finally get the first out here at the top of the fifth inning. Cody Kaufman struck out in the first inning, hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the third. Cody started the evening batting .340. Prior to tonight's action, he was 2 for 5. Couple of walks and a hit batsman made up the difference. Runner goes from first on a hit and run. Skied high to right field. McKenna back for it, and it's gone. That did not look like it had enough leg to get out of here. It just floated. McKenna floated back with it. Looked like he had his eyes on it, but it went on top of the bullpen housing out there. And Roswell, New Mexico will add a couple of runs to their situation. And they now lead it by a score of 5-2. Two RBIs credited towards the catcher, Cody Kaufman, as that brings Woodard around from third base. And Cody Bishop around from first base. So the three-run home run runs it up to 6-2. Called strike to the left right-handed hitting Bobby Webb, and the second one is in there for a strike. As I imagine those are kind of revenge pitches by Gomez. He was a little upset that that ball carried out of here. But, you have a very warm evening. Next one is about a 40-foot fastball. Pitching mound is 60 feet, 6 inches away, so you get the idea that the ball was bounced up there. So we'll sit down on the strikeout. Second out of the inning, but not before a three-run home run as the Saguaros put the Invaders up by a 6-3 count. Bryce Skelton will step in, struck out in the fourth. And kind of popped out to the right fielder McKenna in the second inning. This one swung on and hit down to Retz. Picks it up and will take it unassisted for the third out of the inning, but not before three of them come across on a three-run home run by the catcher Cody Kaufman. And this is quite a hole that the Saguaros have gotten themselves into. 6-2 they are behind as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Sometimes the number of pitches that you throw in an inning is not indicative of how the inning went because Pepe Gomez only threw 15 pitches in that particular inning. But one of those pitches was a home run. I was about ready to say that it did not look like it had enough leg to get out of here. But with the temperature 106 degrees, you have extremely light air, number one. Number two, what wind there is blowing from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole. And that ball went over the 375-foot sign in pretty much straight away right center field. And the foot marker says 375. And I would suspect that ball didn't travel much more than 378 feet. Because it was just barely over the fence. Thought the right fielder McKenna had it in his sights, but it disappeared from his sight very quickly. So Roswell has recorded seven hits tonight. So they've got six runs on 7 hits and no errors. While the Tucson Saguaros currently leading in the South Division of the Pecos League has two runs on 5 hits. And they're going to need to get their bats busy against Blake Oliver, who came into this game with a 16 ERA. So you would almost think, looking at that, it would be a cakewalk and drive him out of there. And as it turned out, a player with seven less runs of ERA started off the game for the Saguaros and wound up giving up 2 runs in that first inning. So it's been Roswell with 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 3 in the fifth. And now Tucson in the top of the fifth inning. Check that, the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll try to get something back. Michael Morris steps in there. He got a walk in the third inning. And struck out in the first inning from the left side. He does have a tendency to try to drop down a drag bunt. That's the reason that Joey Miller is in on the grass on third base. Lifted high to center field. Bishop on his horse. And once again, that one did not look like it had enough to get that far. There's trouble handling it out of the outfield. And Michael Morris will come all the way around to third base. So if you want to get real grouchy about the scoring, it's probably going to be a double and an error on the outfielder Bishop because he could not pick it up. The ball hit right at the base of the 388 sign, and there again, that very light, high-temperature air allowed the ball to go a lot farther than it appeared or sounded when it came off the bat. Devon Poole is up. He was out 6-3 in the third inning. But achieved an RBI out of that. Got a base hit in the first. First pitch is a sweeping curve and misses inside. So with the light air here, actually, Tucson, Arizona is only about 1,100 feet above sea level, so that shouldn't have a whole lot to do with it. Next one is on the outside corner, swung on and missed by Poole. On Thursday night's game, Poole got a two-run double that keyed a 5-run third inning. That sent the Saguaros off to a 7-1 win. Tucson won last night 7-3, but right now they're going to have to come from behind to get some business done here. Ball is wrapped towards Johnson at short, and historically, the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders do not seem to be too interested in cutting off runs. And at times you would think that runs would be needed to be cut off at home. They play back. That's exactly what happened there. As Morris came home on the ground out to the shortstop with nobody on now, and one out. It's Retz. Retz with an extremely open stance. And the slow curve catches inside for a called strike. Generally, if you see a hitter up there with that exaggerated open stance, you try to pound him outside, and exactly what they did on that particular pitch. Got the outside part of the plate on a changeup, and Retz was way ahead of it. Ryan got on a fielder's choice in the first inning and walked in the third. Strikes out there for the second out of the inning. A triple and a ground out has netted a run for the Saguaros, and they had closed it down to a 3-2 count, gave up three in the top of the fifth, and now have come back to get one. So it's 6-3 in favor of Roswell, New Mexico. They call themselves the Invaders. They are not the farthest team in this league. There is a team in West Texas called Alpine Cowboys. Hit towards Morita, picks it up, records the out. So in essence, it was a 1-2-3 inning, with the exception of the triple hit by Morris as the leadoff runner, and he came in to score on a ground out. So one run on one hit. It is the sixth hit of the game for the Saguaros, and the score after five complete innings of play. It is 6 for the Roswell visitors and 3 for the Saguaros. Public address announcers talking about a July 4th fireworks display here after the ball game. That will be on the 4th of July, which I believe is a Tuesday this year. Might be a Monday, because I think that the Saguaros go out of town to play a Sunday game and then come back into town to play the Monday game, which is the 4th of July. My ace staff will jump on it and help me out here with the date. I think. 4th of July is in fact a Monday, and what's interesting about it is that the Saguaros will be out of town on Monday to Bisbee. They play their Sunday games over there. Mostly it's a contractual thing because Bisbee was in the league before. And apparently there was an agreement to play the Sunday game over there. The other mitigating factor is that a travel team here in Tucson uses the stadium on Sunday. So that probably keyed what's going on. Gomez will come out for his fifth inning of work. Gave up that 3-run home run in the top of the fifth inning. Going to the top of the sixth. Bottom of the order, Blake Oliver, Christian Johnson, and up to the top to Rene Morita. Oliver has a base hit, as does Johnson. And then up to the top, Morita has really struggled tonight after getting 3 hits and 8 times at bat in the previous two games. He has struck out three times in a row. Some discussion going on with the New Mexico Invaders. And not sure what the situation is here. Scrambling around in the dugout. One of the Invaders players. The umpire was off the field for a minute or two. Now a discussion with the home plate umpire. These umpires are also trying to work up in the league. Not exactly sure what the situation was there. But we're about ready to go here in the top of the sixth inning with the Tucson Saguaros behind 6-3. They currently lead in the South Division by 4 games over Roswell. But after dropping two, the Invaders are looking to narrow that back down to being 3 games behind. Tucson is 14-3, and Roswell is 9-6 on the year. So Blake Oliver will step in. He struck out in second, got a base hit in the fourth. Pepe Gomez on the mound for the Saguaros came in to start the second inning of play as Carlos Diaz had a rather rough outing, giving up 2 runs in the top of the first. This one blasted fair down the third baseline. Ruben Rivera dove after it, and now outstanding job. I tell you what, this Urbania in left field has impressed left and right. He got over on the ripping line drive right down the line from his left field position and held the runner Oliver at first base. Last night we saw Adam give up his body going after a ball. And on Thursday night, he went up against the fence to rob a home run. So a very impressive young man in left field. Christian Johnson is the batter. Looks at the first one as a ball. Nobody out here in the sixth with a runner on first. And nobody out, as I mentioned. This one misses outside. And Pepe Gomez has a tendency to aim that ball. I think if you watch it very closely, you can kind of see it. He kind of eases up and tries to guide the ball to a position rather than throwing it. That time it was more a thrown ball. However, it dropped down low, and the count is 3-0. Chances of scoring a run for a team by getting the first two batters on goes up exponentially. 3-0. Inside corner called strike. We're in the top of the sixth inning with Tucson on the short end of the 6-3 count. 3-run home run. Kind of did the deed there. And speaking about home runs, it looked like Christian Johnson saw the fences creeping in and really swung the bat. Missed 3-2 is the count. This one hit up the middle. Lubeck gets it over to Poole, and Poole goes to first base with it. And I'm not sure who they're going to charge the error. I think we're going to charge it to Poole because he kind of threw it off balance. Not exactly sure he had a chance on it in the first place. But they do record the out at second base from Lubeck to Poole. Lubeck not used to playing that second base position, threw the ball to the left field side, or actually the center field side, and Poole had to grab it and spin to be able to get the ball to first. So we'll go to the top of the order with one out on second base because of the overthrow. First pitch wide outside to the left-handing Morita. Morita came into the ball game batting 4-23, but he's had his troubles striking out three consecutive times. First time was to lead off the game against Diaz. Next pitch misses outside. And Gomez again behind in the count. First pitch swinging was Blake Oliver got a base hit. Then Christian Johnson worked a 3-2 count before getting the bat on the ball. And this one gets in for a strike, so we go 2-1. Retz is on the outfield grass at first base. Now he takes a couple of steps in. Lubeck a couple of steps in off the grass. Big swing and a miss, and we'll even it up at 2-2. Christian Johnson moving around at second base, so a runner in scoring position with Roswell up 6-3 in the top of the sixth inning. Once again, Morris is very, very shallow in center field, waved at and missed, and that is the fourth strikeout for Morita in this ball game. Big-time hitter goes into a doubleheader, and a young man asks if he can have a pencil and get an autograph as the player goes in. At the end of the doubleheader, this star player is like 0 for 9 and leaves 6 guys in scoring position and has a terrible day in the field. And when he comes out of the clubhouse, the kid asks him if he's got an eraser. Misses. Whoa, got the corner for the call. That's the corner call that was being so consistently called yesterday by Couture, who is now on the field umpire. That's one of the first times that the home plate umpire has called that outside edge. Gomez goes for it again, and this time misses it. Woodard is the batter. Got a base hit and scored the last time up. Walked the previous 2 times. Scored and walked in the first inning. So he's been on all 3 times and has scored twice. If you are a Moneyball devotee, you love that to death. Gomez steps off the mound and drives Johnson back to second base. Set to go here with the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, and Droll does a nice job of keeping it in front of him. 2-1 the count. Top of the 6th inning. Nobody in but a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Popped up to the right side into foul play, foul territory. 2-2. Kind of fascinating, the 2 different styles in the outfield. Michael Morris, who's played third and shortstop for the Saguaros so far this year, is playing a very shallow center field, while Urbania in left field and McKenna in right field back quite a bit deeper. 2-2. Swung on and hit softly into center field, and it is softly enough that there will probably be no play at the plate, and there is not. So that will bring Johnson around from second base as Woodard gets an RBI single, moves up to second base on the throw. They did not cut it off. So Rochelle gets an RBI. He was in that 9th position last night, but got 2 doubles and has been moved up to the 2nd spot, as now the blistering hitter Cody Bishop, who is 3 for 3, is up there. He got a run-scoring triple in the 1st inning, got a base hit in the 3rd, and a base hit in the 5th. He has scored twice. Gomez to the plate, misses. No, he does not, right at the knees, and certainly Bishop does not agree with the call. Couple of outs, a run in, swung on, fouled off to the left side, into the stands. Hits the overhead. There's kind of a shade around there. It's not solid. It is pointed towards the west sun, and it hit one of those slanted bars and came right back into the crowd, and in doing so sounded like a gong in a Chinese restaurant. Next pitch, a changeup, nicely done, swung on and missed, and that will be the third out of this, the top of the sixth inning. However, one run does come across, and so Roswell pads its lead out to 7-3 with the Saguaro gang coming up here in the bottom of the sixth inning. We'll see if the Saguaros get some action out in the bullpen, because Gomez has gotten up to 94 pitches, even though he has only pitched 5 innings. Just finished with the 6th. Gomez did not start things tonight. Carlos Diaz did, and gave up a couple of runs in the first inning and was pulled. Gomez came in the top of the second. 2 hits in the inning. Totals up 9 for the Invaders. And Blake Oliver, who had an atrocious 16 RBI, or rather ERA coming into this game, is coming out for his 6th inning of work with a nice 7-3 lead. Coming up to bat will be 5, 6, and 7. That's McKenna, Droll, and Lubeck. And among those 3, no hits tonight and 3 strikeouts. On the night, Blake Oliver has 5 strikeouts. He has given up a couple of walks, and unfortunately for him, they came in the 3rd inning. Didn't catch the score on the Salina, Kansas score, but they beat Santa Fe tonight. Garden City topped Trinidad. Trinidad is leading in the north, but Garden City beat them 10-5 after last night's game, in which Trinidad scored 23 runs and beat Garden City, Kansas, and they're 6. Topeka beat Great Bend by a score of 7-6, and in the South Division, White Sands defeated Alpine 7-5. So those are scores recorded around the Pecos League tonight. There are 10 teams, 5 in the north and 5 in the south. In the north, it's Trinidad, Great Bend, Salina, Garden City, and Topeka in that order. In the south, it is Tucson, Roswell, Alpine, White Sands, and Santa Fe. Stepping in for the Saguaros is Thomas McKenna. McKenna had the displeasure, at least I'm sure in his mind, of seeing a 378-foot home run, a 3-run blast, just over his head, sitting at 375 feet. This one popped up. Morita over to get it. First out of the bottom of the 6th inning. So even though Blake Oliver came in here with a very, very poor ERA, he is performing rather well. How many? How many? Danny Droll, the catcher, steps in for Tucson, struck out in the 2nd, and grounded out to the shortstop Johnson in the 4th, fouls the first pitch off to the right side and into the stands. As I was saying, Oliver just had a horrible ERA coming in here, but right now he's driving that thing down into the dirt. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, lifts a soft line drive into right field, and Morita does an outstanding job of keeping his eye on the ball and floating into short right field to get the ball, and so he has been instrumental in the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brian Lubeck will be coming up. Brian is listed as a pitcher, and so as you might expect, a very low batting average, and that's not been helped out by 2 strikeouts. Johnson with a nice play, a scoop and a throw, so 3 up and 3 down as Tucson fails to make any dent in the 4-run lead that is being enjoyed by Roswell. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, and no errors. And after 6 full innings of play, it is Roswell 7 and Tucson 3. A 5-pitch inning. Oh, my goodness. 76 overall pitches. No hits in the inning, and 6 overall hits for the Saguaros. So the Cacti, their bats have gone quiet tonight after picking up 10. Relief pitcher coming in for Tucson, as you might expect, with Gomez only going 5 innings and throwing 94 pitches. So we'll try to pick up who we have coming in to work here in the top of the 7th inning. Robbie Romero from Santa Fe, New Mexico is in there. This is his 2nd year as a professional. He played for the Wellington Heat. So the right-hander will step up there and try to get a hold. So Pepe Gomez goes 5 innings. Seven strikeouts for Pepe, but the big problem was that 3-run home run back in the 5th inning. Gave up 3 walks during his tenure. Five runs were scored against him. Robbie Romero coming in as a relief pitcher for the Saguaros. He's 2-0 on the season with the earned run average just under 5. Been in 7 games, pitched 11 innings, given up 14 hits and 6 earned runs. Gets 70% strikeouts, so not strikeouts, but strikes thrown out of the total. So he will look at Joey Miller, then home run Henry here in the form of Cody Kaufman and Bobby Webb. First pitch catches that outside corner for a called strike. Miller hit a deep fly ball to left center field, and somehow, quite frankly, I don't know how, Michael Morris got all the way over there and picked it off. There was a runner on third base who scored, but Morris did an unbelievable job getting over there and getting that ball to record the out, and of course giving up the second run. This one wrapped sharply into left field for a base hit. Urbania is over to get it back into the infield. And once again, Roswell has their leadoff hitter on. They had the leadoff hitter on in the 6th, leadoff hitter on in the 5th, leadoff hitter on in the 4th, leadoff hitter on in the 3rd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive innings. The Invaders have had a runner on as the first batter up in the inning. Cody Kaufman up there. As I mentioned, he got a 3-run home run in the 5th inning. Takes a called strike on the inside corner. Struck out in the 1st inning and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. But I tell you, if I could have an evening of a strikeout, a double, or rather a a double play and then hit a 3-run home run, I'd take that every day of the week. Count is 1-1. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning with a runner at first base. A changeup skied. Oh, wow, does that go high in the air? Over is McKenna, and he can't quite get it as it hits on the stairwell just outside of play in foul territory. That was a big league pop-up if you've ever wanted to see one. Really got up into the air. That gave McKenna an opportunity to get over there. Lubeck was in the vicinity as well from his second base position, but it just barely got into the stands where they jut out as they move down the right field line. Change up this time is skied to the left side, not nearly as close to being in play, and the count will stay 1-2. Robbie Romero in his first inning of work here for the Saguaros as they are trailing 7-3 with 3 at-bats left to go. Inside, and Droll does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him to avoid Joey Miller heading over to second base and in scoring position. Don't need to give up any more if you're on the Tucson side. 2-2 is our count. Nobody out, top of the 7th inning, a runner on first. Gets away from Droll this time, not sure what crossed him up. I think possibly he was looking for a fastball and got a curveball down and inside, so we're going to have to call that a pass ball, unfair as it might be, and the count goes out full to Kaufman, and that sends Miller over to second base. This one fouled down the right field side. The first base coach kind of catches it off of his hip and tosses it into a young person in the stands, and we'll come back and do it 3-2 once again. 8th pitch of this at-bat. Romero set, swung on and missed, foul. I don't know how you could miss it and hit it foul, but he did in fact rip it into the facing of the dugout for Roswell. Spraying enough baseballs around in this at-bat, the umpire needed to walk over and have the delivery of about 3 or 4 baseballs. McKenna, a couple of steps over towards the line, but basically straight away. Morris still amazes me in center how short he is playing. Pitch, wrap, foul. Got good wood on it, but was well out in front of the inside fastball, and we'll go to the 10th pitch of this at-bat. Urbania is shaded over towards the left field line, looking for that opposite field slicing hit. Romero to the plate, 3-2, swung on and missed, held on to by Droll, and that will be the first out of the top of the 7th inning. Bobby Webb stepping in. He came into the game batting .446, but he is 0 for 2. He did get a walk in the 4th inning. Has not had a particularly good series, was 0 for 3 in the first game and 1 for 5 in the second. From the right side with a runner in scoring position and first base open, this one popped up coming back towards us. Wish we had a big net to be able to take a stab at it. I think even with a large net, it was too far to our right to be able to get a hold of. So we'll come back with an 0-1 count. The Invaders left fielder, 0-1. Changeup swung on and missed, 0-2. Roswell, New Mexico Invaders in second spot in the South Division by 4 games, trying to close it down to 3 as they have a 7-3 lead here in the 7th inning. Romero misses on the outside part of the plate. Romero in relief of Gomez. Gomez went 5 innings. He was in relief of starter Carlos Diaz, who only went 1. Romero 2-0 on the season. Comes set, takes a look back to second. A second look and comes to the plate. Swung on and missed for the second strikeout and the second out of the inning. So Romero has K'd 2. And he will now have Bryce Skelton step in. Skelton 368 coming in, pinch hit, strikeout last night, and is 0 for 3 so far today. On the outside corner, called strike. Get a little bit of a howl out of the Roswell dugout on that one. That was a pitch that was called consistently strikes last night. This particular umpire a little less consistent about that front corner of the plate. 0-1 pitch. Called strike 2. So Skelton in the hole 0-2 with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs via the strikeout route. Kaufman and Webb down on strikeouts. And Robbie Romero taking a look back at second, 0-2 to the plate in the dirt, which is exactly where you want to have a waste pitch. Droll does a good job of keeping it out in front of him. And with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, we will go to a 1-2 count. Check of the runner, 1-2. Outside corner called strike 3, and that will ring up the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Romero in relief here in the 7th inning. So no runs, but a total of 7 for Roswell to 3 for Tucson as we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. First chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. One of these days I'm going to look up what the second and third chorus, I think they've got 3 of them. Not sure. Had a friend of mine that prided herself on knowing the second and third chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game and the Canadian national anthem, and she was not Canadian, so whatever you do with your hobby time, I guess. No runs in the top of the 7th inning for Roswell, but they still have 7 on the board. And the 8th, 9th, and 1st position, so we'll see who comes up here. Looks like Rivera is swinging the bat to stay up there in the 8th position. He got a 2-run double and got a base hit in the 4th inning, so Ruben has had a good night tonight. Then we'll look and see whether Gomez comes out. He is the second hitter scheduled in the inning. And in the on-deck circle, swinging the bat for the Saguaros is the catcher, Jesse Baker. So we're looking to have Baker as a pinch hitter. I would suspect, unless Rivera gets on and they want to have Gomez go ahead and bunt. But quite frankly, the young man has not been successful in 2 at-bats in trying to bunt. First pitch drops down low. And Rivera is on top in the count 1-0. Miller back at third with the leadoff hitter Morris. He's generally up on the grass. This one hits softly right at second baseman Morita. Morita has been extremely busy tonight. Marita has been involved in 9 different plays tonight, and coming up to bat is number 25 instead of 8. First pitch swinging, hits it to Johnson, who gets it over to first base, and so whoever that was the pitcher Romero coming up, and so Romero pinch hit for Gomez. Actually didn't pinch hit for him. He came in to pitch and goes out 6-3 for 2 quick outs. And we go to the top of the inning to Michael Morris as our temperature is plunging here in Tucson. It's all the way down to 93. Started off at 109 with a called strike on the outside corner to Michael Morris, the center fielder tonight. Boomed a triple in the 5th inning and came around to score, walked and scored in the 3rd, struck out starting off the game in the 1st inning. Slow curveball drops in for a strike, and all of a sudden Michael finds himself in the hole 0-2. A near record temperature in Tucson. They say the overnight low is to dip into the 70s somewhere, but they need to get busy on it if they intend to get that done. 1-2 count set for the center fielder coming into this ball game, batting .385. He was 2 for 5 in the first game and 2 for 3 in the second game, and he is 1 for 2 here in the third game, missing inside, so the count will square up at 2-2. Michael out of Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Tennessee Tech as a collegian. Hits it into right center field. Don't think, well, by golly, it looks like it might reach the gap. And Morris is on his way to second base and gets in there standing up. So a standing 2-out double will give some hope on the third base dugout for the Saguaros. And that will send up Devon Poole. Poole has taken the collar tonight with the exception of a base hit, then being erased at second base on a fielder's choice. Devon, however, with his ground outs twice to shortstop Johnson, has accounted for 2 RBI. Mentioned earlier that Roswell seems very, very reluctant to play in, and in playing back, that will get you an RBI on a ground out, and that's what Poole has done twice. This one hit sharply to Johnson, who mishandles it, and Johnson, check that, Poole will get on an error. Morris moves over to third base. A little bit surprising that he would be moving that way with the ball hit to the shortstop, but it might have been the fact that the shortstop Johnson looked up to see what was going on is the reason that he dropped the ball. So a 2-out rally, so to speak, going with runners on first and third, and Ryan Retz up there. Retz has walked, struck out, and grounded out. And we've got a little discussion out on the mound, as this is the first time Blake Oliver has really been in trouble, so to speak. He had a rough third inning in which he walked a couple, gave up a double and a single and 2 runs, then gave up a run in the 5th inning. There again, a triple by Morris, and the infield decided to play back, and the ground ball by Poole got Morris home, and that was the 3rd run for the Saguaros, and that's where they stand right now. Ryan Retz, the 3rd in the order, does have some home run power, and now would be a good time to deliver it as he looks at the first pitch inside, has to kind of dance out of the way of it, and it will have a 1-0 count. Move to first doesn't accomplish anything. My mistake, Retz only has 1 home run, but we've seen him get a couple of booming triples. Now would be a time to deliver that as far as Tucson is concerned. swung on a changeup high and around his eyes. That is not where you want to throw a changeup, I'll guarantee you that, but it worked for Retz, and the count is 1-1. Poole has good speed at first base, but the common feeling is that you don't want to make the third out at either second or third. And with 2 outs, that's a possibility. This one misses down low, and Retz is ahead 2-1. Second and short, Johnson and Morita are on the outfield grass. Even with the bag, well, actually a couple of steps back is Miller at third. And holding on the runner at first base is Skelton. Ball got away in the bullpen where a couple of pitchers are warming up. That bullpen being the Roswell, New Mexico one. The Tucson bullpen is quiet at the moment as the Saguaros are working on their third pitcher of the evening, and that would be Robbie Romero. Romero came up and hit for himself in the inning because the first batter did not get on. Quick move by Oliver, almost caught Poole leaning towards second base. Kind of froze instantly, but got back in safely. So with a 2-1 count and runners at first and third here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Oliver is keeping an eye on Poole at first. Poole going, hit and run right back to where the second baseman should have been, but he does recover and gets back over for the 4-3 out. And Morita, now that is the 10th time that he's been involved in a play tonight, so he's certainly earning his keep. 1 hit that inning, and the Saguaros now have 7 hits on the inning, on the game rather. Would be nice if they got 7 in an inning, but that's not to be up to this point, as the Saguaros are still down by 4 runs, 7-3, as we go to the top of the 8th inning. "13 pitches delivered that inning by Oliver, and that gets him up to only 89, so he has certainly had an economy of pitches tonight. And looking to the mound, Romero will come out for his 2nd inning of work. And he will be facing Oliver if they choose to send him up there. There has been some business out in the Roswell bullpen. So Oliver is the leadoff hitter, his spot anyway. Christian Johnson in the 9th position will come up, and then Morita. Morita has had a stellar night in the field, and just the absolute opposite at the plate. He has struck out 4 times. Got some discussion going on with the Droughty, the manager for the Saguaros, and the manager for Roswell. Don't know what the discussion is about. To this point is very civil anyway. Nobody's throwing dirt, kicking dirt on home plate, picking up bases and throwing them, throwing bats and balls out of the dugout. You've seen them all, have you not? What was it, that minor league manager? I forget what his name was. It was on the internet over the last couple of days. The trainer is now part of the discussion. So once again, I'm not entirely certain. They go over and check the scorebook. Sometimes in the minor leagues you have a ball player keeping the book, and sometimes that's a little scary. A lot of them don't know how to keep score because they've been playing all the time and not keeping a scorebook. So the condition or the conversation continues to go on. A Saguaro player is taking off his jersey. Not exactly sure what that one's all about. Stephen Borkowski, a pitcher, took off his jersey. Well, now I wonder if an umpire is having to retire. Borkowski has taken off his jersey, and the base umpire has gone up into the stands. Not exactly sure what that's all about, so it's going to be a Tucson Saguaros pitcher from last night, Stephen Borkowski, who is going to be the base umpire. Took off his Saguaros jersey. He has a dark undershirt on, but he still has his baseball pants on. So this is an interesting twist. Both managers apparently agreed to it. So I certainly hope that something that is going on with the umpire is nothing too terrible. I don't think that he was injured. Maybe there's some personal emergency or something like that. In the middle of the fourth inning, he left the field for a considerable length of time, and we waited to have the inning start. First pitch to Blake Oliver, they're going to leave him in there, is a ball. And also in there is Robbie Romero, as Retz goes over and talks to Borkowski, who is now the first base umpire. Well, like I said, we certainly hope that nothing is terribly wrong for the first base umpire who needed to leave here. Sweeping curve drops in for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Romero after giving up a hit. Then he struck out 2 batters in the 6th inning. Check that. That was Gomez pitching. So Romero has struck out 3 in a row to end the 7th inning as the count goes to 2-2. 2-2 pitch almost offered at, and we'll squeeze it out to 3-2. Oliver struck out in the 2nd inning, got a base hit in the 4th, and replicated that in the 6th. Now in the top of the 8th inning, with the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders on the top side of a 7-3 count, send their first hitter of the inning onto the base. So the last 6 innings in a row, Roswell has gotten somebody on base as the leadoff hitter. And during that stretch, they have scored 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Swung on and line down the third baseline, a diving try by Rivera. Adam Urbania gets over there. Man, I want to tell you, he is impressive in left field. Holds the runner at second base on the base hit by Chris Johnson. So that moves Oliver over to second base. So once again, first and second with nobody out. And we go to the top of the order. Morita, and I mentioned earlier that this young man has done a stellar job in the field tonight. Has been involved in 11 outs one way or the other, but has struck out 4 times at the plate. Gets the first curveball in for a strike. And I would suspect after a 4 strikeout situation that you've got to be muttering to yourself something fierce. 0-1 pitch, right about in the same spot, but misses inside according to the home plate umpire. And we go to 1-1. Steve Borkowski, as the substitute umpire in the field, didn't have to be told to go and move to the correct position. So apparently he's been involved in some sort of umpiring along the line previous to this. 2-1 count now on Morita. He's the second baseman. Up until tonight, he's been having a fairly decent series, going 3 for 8. Swung on and hit down the first base box. 3 for 12 now is Moreta. 2-2 the count. First and second. Nobody out in the top of the eighth inning with Roswell up 7-3. And this one misses inside. So a second full count going on here in the inning. The last full count resulted in the walk to Blake Oliver, who's now residing at second base after Christian Johnson ripped one down the line, and Urbania got over to cut it off. Big swing and a strikeout. So Rocher Woodard comes up. Rocher is on a bit of a tear. 2 base hits in the last two times at bat, one in the fifth and one in the sixth. He came around to score in the fifth, and his base hit in the sixth resulted in an RBI. Prior to that, a couple of walks. So his 2 for 2 night will certainly elevate his 271 batting average, as he did last night with 2 hits in 4 times at bat, and both of those hits wound up being doubles. 1 out, a 1-0 count on the batter, Woodard. Last night he was in left field, showed some great defensive skills by cutting off a couple of sure base hits in the gap. On the outside part of the plate, lifts it high and foul. Retz is over to get it, and that will be the second out of the inning. So Ryan Retz got a beat on that one, committed the second out of the top of the eighth inning with Cody Bishop, and this is not necessarily the guy that you want to see. A triple, a single, and another single. Need to have a hold here, floats one high and outside, and we'll deal with a 1-1 situation. One, check swing, but he went around, and it will be 1-2. Leading off the 8 for the Saguaros will be Urbania, McKenna, and Droll. But first we need to deal with the runner in scoring position here, and it will probably count as the ball is hit straight up the middle. They hold the runner at third, however. And a base hit for Bishop. That will be his 4th base hit of the evening. Sends Oliver over to check that third base, and moving over to second base will be Johnson. Oliver got on a walk, Johnson on a base hit. Then we had a strikeout and a pop out, and then Bishop with a base hit. Bases loaded. Joey Miller is the batter. First pitch misses. Miller is not exactly the guy you'd like to see up if you are Tucson. Exactly the guy you'd like to see up if you're Roswell. He has 6 home runs and 2 doubles. 1-0 pitch, curveball, catches the outside part of the plate, and the count will go to 1-1. Oliver on third, Johnson on second, Bishop on first. 2 outs, top of the 8th inning, 7-3 in favor of Roswell. Hit towards Poole at second base. He picks it up, and the off-balance throw to first is successful, and that is the 3rd out of the top of the 8th inning, and no damage, although a lot of activity going on. So Roswell continues to have 7 on the board, with the Saguaros coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning with only 3. Well, Roswell will send out Oliver once again. And in this league, quite frankly, you don't have a lot of complete games. In Thursday night's game, Randy Keene, who had flown from Napa, California to San Diego to Tucson, got here in time to put on the uniform and go into the game, got a complete game 5-hit 1-run win in that 7-1 win on Thursday evening. The Saguaros got a 7-3 win last night, and right now the tables are being turned on Tucson as they are down 7-3. Oliver comes out for the next inning of work. He escaped a double last inning by Michael Morris. Morris got over to third on the strength of Devon Poole getting on an error by the shortstop Johnson. But then with 2 out, Retz got a ground ball to the second baseman Morita, and that ended the inning. Well, now they have switched where a Roswell, New Mexico player is umpiring, so apparently they are going to switch out. The field umpire left the game an inning ago. He had left the field in the 4th inning, I believe, and they had to wait for a little while to get things going for him to return. Now, I don't know whether it was a personal problem or whether it was some sort of injury he may have suffered, but at any rate, he is not here, and the players are being used as umpires because in this league, you only have 2 umpires. Adam Abanya is up to bat. The left fielder belts it on a line, and it goes past the right fielder, Woodard, and all the way to the wall, but Urbana will show up or hold up at second base as he has flashed the leather on several occasions and now has flashed the bat to the tune of 3 hits here in 4 times at bat. So Thomas McKenna will be stepping in. McKenna has had a weak night by popping up twice to the second baseman Morita and then grounding out to the same position. Up there for the 4th time in the ball game. McKenna came in batting .328, 1 for 3 in the first game and 1 for 4 in the second game. He got a key base hit in the second game. His only hit was a base clearing double that got 3 runs in. The bases were loaded. Looks at the first pitch outside for a ball. Danny Droll is in the on-deck circle, and he certainly has done a fine job at the plate. .438 is what he had coming in. So the potential is there. Slow curve catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. 7 runs on 12 hits and 1 error for Roswell. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Saguaros. 1 error for them as well. Misses outside on the fastball. Kind of threw across his body on that one. Want to watch that because you do that and pull the ball all the way outside and it goes past your catcher Kaufman, and all of a sudden you have a runner at third base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Saguaros trailing 7-3. Hit to the hole. Johnson gets over and hits it, but unfortunately, well, this time they're going to hold him up at third base. As Johnson dove for the ball, he knocked it a long ways towards the line. Bobby Webb came over and got a hold of it. If the runner had tried to score, it would have been a very close play at the plate. So slowly walking out to the mound is the manager for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. They're going to give a hit on that because the rule of thumb is if the player had come up with the ball and you said, wow, was that a fantastic play, you don't penalize him if he makes a fantastic play and does not come up with the ball. So it's recorded as a base hit, and that is the second hit of the inning and drives the hit total for the Tucson gang up to 9, with the discussion going on at the mound, and there will be a relief pitcher coming in. So an outstanding effort here by Blake Oliver, who literally came into the game with a sky-high ERA, is walking off the mound and certainly has an ERA that is now much, much more respectable. And we'll try to catch the number of the Saguaro, the new Invader pitcher. As he tends to the mound, we'll hope that he turns around before he gets back up on top of it. But oh no, he backs up. Is this our side armor? It is, in fact. He was in the other night. This is Kyle Perez. So Kyle Perez will try to close it out. He was the third of 3 pitchers used last night. Okay, we're going to change that to 99. Both Perez and Evan Carr throw almost exactly alike with that submarine pitch that comes in. Carr pitched in the first game of this series. He came in the bottom of the 7th inning and stemmed a 2-run bleeder as the Saguaros got 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. And Carr pitched the 1 out in the 7th and then got 3 outs in the 8th inning. So he has been effective against the Saguaros. This one coming in from left field almost. Misses low as Danny Droll steps in there. Droll, the catcher for Tucson, is 0 for 3. Have runners on first and third and nobody out. This one hit down the line in right field and it's foul. Just barely foul. That might have even scored McKenna from first base because it was running away from the right fielder Woodard. Single little girl sitting down there on that right field line, and when Woodard went over there and got a hold of the ball, young lady looks to be about maybe 10 or so with a glove, just kicking back down there. The ball was tossed to her. This one has popped up into shallow right center field. It's going to fall in, but the runners had to hold up to make sure. It will, however, score Abanya from third base and move McKenna only over to second base on the bloop single off the bat of Danny Droll. Brian Lupchek struck out twice and grounded out to Johnson at shortstop. And the conversation will go on. Apparently they're going to switch pitchers right off the bat. So a little strategizing going on here as Evan Carr comes in and faces one hitter, gives up what they call in the business a bleeder. So we will get a third pitcher, second one of this inning, as Blake Oliver did an outstanding job. He went 7 full innings, giving up only 3 runs. He did get 5 strikeouts. Pitcher is Lance Fairchild. We've seen him before in the series.
Defensive change for the Invaders. Now pitching number 19, Lance Fairchild.
Obviously, in this league, the managers are also kind of looking to move up. So the manager for Roswell is trying to pull a few strings here and keep his club up. They entered the inning being up 7-3, and now they're up 7-4. There are no outs, a run in, and runners on first and second. And it looks like we may have no, we don't have a pinch hitter. Number 4, Brian Lubeck, is swinging a bat. Brian listed as a pitcher. But he is being pressed into duty here at second base. One of the second basemen for the Saguaros decided he wasn't getting enough playing time and left the club. And then Burnell Daly in center field got injured last night and is out of the lineup. So Morris moved out to center field, and they moved Poole from second base to shortstop, and that left an opening for Lubeck, which would have left an opening for the player who left. Not sure whether he was concerned about playing time or there was some sort of problem involved. All of that aside, Lubeck has struck out twice and grounded out to Johnson. McKenna is on second. Droll is on first. McKenna has pretty good speed. And the first pitch comes on the outside corner for a called strike. So Fairchild is not one of those submarine pitchers. Roswell has two of them. We just saw Carr, and we thought that we were going to see the other side armor in there, but he didn't come in. Swung on and missed. 0-2 on Lubeck. I don't know, Coach, you might consider a surprise bunt right here, just a sacrifice bunt with 0-2, but this pitch will probably be a waste pitch, so you don't want to do it this time. Well, he swings and misses on the outside part of the plate, and that is the first out. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Ruben Rivera will come up. Rivera has a double and a single, the double in the 3rd inning, the single in the 4th, had a soft line drive out to Merida in the 7th inning. So here in the 8th inning, Ruben up there. Ruben came so close to grabbing a couple of blistering line drives. That time he had every bit of a powerful swing on it, but missed it. It's a game of inches because in both cases he just missed. Got some action out in the Saguaro bullpen. Try to pick up a number out there. Left-hander is working. And the Roswell bullpen is settled down and is sitting on the grass out in the bullpen. They do have a right-hander just kind of lazily throwing. We have a Roswell player as an umpire because the base umpire had some sort of personal problem and needed to leave. Outside part of the plate, and that is the 2nd strike. So Fairchild has come in and really done the job that you always look for out of your relief pitcher, as he has gone 0-2 to Lubeck and got a strikeout, and now to Rivera he has gone 0-2. The pitcher spot is up next, and we'll see what they do with that. This one fouled off the umpire's mask, and as soon as he gets the bells to stop ringing, why, he will try to step back in there. Standing in the on-deck circle is Jesse Baker. He caught last night, as Baker and Droll share the catching responsibilities for the Saguaros. 0-2 pitch on the way. Changeup. Johnson goes past him. A run will score. And we'll check and see if they give that an error. So a run batted in for Rivera as he gets a base hit. Moving over to second base will be Droll, and then coming around to score the 5th run for the Saguaros, 2 in this inning, is McKenna. Rivera, who does not have particularly great speed, will be pinch run for, and Daly, who has had ice on the back of his leg for the last night and today, and he is not playing center field. They sent him in as a pinch runner. So apparently he's feeling a little bit better. He really took a shot as he tried to get away from an inside pitch and got hit on the leg. So the pinch hitter will be Jesse Baker. As the Saguaros try to get back into this thing. Swung on and laced down the right field side, foul. Rivera got kind of a seeing eye base hit. If you remember the movie Bull Durham, where they're talking about just getting 7 seeing eye hits more in a year will put you over 300 if you're at 280 or something, or 290. Strike called, 0-2. And that's all it takes sometimes. Just a few more dribblers and you're in the Hall of Fame. First and second. Droll is out at second base. Pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. So that is the second out here. As the Saguaros have plated 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning and are now down only 7-5. They have accounted for 4 base hits here in the inning. And we will come up to the top of the order to the center fielder, Michael Morris. Morris a double in his last time at bat. Last time up was a triple. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning and started out very inauspiciously with a strikeout in the 1st inning. First and second, 2 outs. Catches that outside corner, and Mr. Morris takes a glance back at the umpire, but he's right back in there ready to go. Morris and Abanya are a couple of really tough customers. They are very, very competitive on the diamond. Check back at second, nobody holding him on. Changeup is way out in front on the swing for Michael Morris. And 0-2 is the count. Nice pitch by Fairchild, especially since he's displayed a rather strong fastball. So he's had every hitter 0-2. This is the 4th batter that he's faced. Misses outside. Whoa, he got him outside. And Michael Morris kind of, you can always tell when a player is jawing at the umpire, they kind of put their head down and walk away. If you turn and look at the umpire and start discussing life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, why, you'll get run. You could tell very surely that Michael Morris did not like that call at all. Well, Lance Fairchild does his job, but not before 2 runs come in. And the Saguaros will be sending the top of the order up for the bottom of the 9th. Now it will be up to Robbie Romero, if they send him out there again, to hang on. But now we have somebody walking in nice and slow from the outfield bullpen. And that apparently will be the end of work for Robbie Romero. And we'll see the 4th of 4 pitchers utilized tonight by the Saguaros. Well, they announced a defensive change, and I'm not exactly sure who is in center field. Daly is in center field as he came in as a pinch runner. And let's check and see who we have on the mound here. And the third pitcher that the Saguaros have used this evening is Aaron Smith, number 30. He has had mixed success as he comes in here in the top of the ninth inning to try to record a hold.
Leading off the top of the ninth for Roswell, catcher number 7, Cody Kaufman.
5, 6, and 7 is coming up here, and Kaufman, who has blistered the ball for a 3-run home run in the 5th inning, is stepping in there. He has struck out twice and hit into a double play, so his evening has not been stellar. This time he hits a ground ball out to Lubeck. Lubeck gets it over to first, and a 4-3 out will be recorded here. Bobby Webb is the batter. 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a ground out. First pitch, a called strike. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Oh, 2 pitch to the left fielder, Bobby Webb, from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Bryce Skelton, the first baseman, is scheduled to be in the next hitter spot. 7-5 Roswell currently over the Tucson Saguaros. Count is even now at 2-2. Swung on a miss for strike 3. Second out of the inning. And we'll go to Bryce Skelton, who has struggled at the plate, a couple of strikeouts, grounded out to Retz at first base and popped out to the right fielder, McKenna. First pitch, a ball. Swung on the changeup, and the count evens out at 1-1. One pitch on the way. Changeup waved at and missed 1-2. 2 outs in the inning, top of the 9th inning for Roswell, New Mexico. Trying to hold the line is Aaron Smith. Wrapped on the ground out to Lubeck at second base. He's up with it and fires it over to first. And a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Smith. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning with an opportunity for the Saguaros to try to at least even up with 2 runs to score. Wonder why they brought Borkowski out and has left the Roswell guy in there for 2 innings. A report on the Tucson Saguaros in the bottom of the 9th inning. They trail 7-5. Just to kind of give a heads up on that, we'll try to call we'll try to call at the end of the inning. This is the bottom of the 9th inning, and they have their second, third, and fourth hitter coming up. And if you happen to be near an internet connection, you could go to YouTube and in the addressing bar type in Tucson Saguaros baseball, and the live webcast will come up, so you could get a final score for your 10:30 or your 10 o'clock news. Okay, all right. So it's on. It's live on YouTube. Tucson Saguaros baseball, and we're at the bottom of the 9th inning. That's it. Mm-hmm. Got to get information out to the world here. So it'll be Devon Poole, Ryan Retz, and Adam Urbania, with McKenna, the fourth hitter, coming up. And the pitcher is Ethan Roseberg. Rosebeck, actually. And he is the fourth pitcher to be employed by Roswell, New Mexico. Poole got a base hit in the first inning, got a ground out RBI in the third and the fifth inning, then got on an error in the seventh. The first pitch is on the knees for a called strike. Saguaros won the first game on Thursday 7-1, dropped at 7-3 last night, won at 7-3 last night. They were down 7-3 in this ball game, but scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. It is left out towards center field, past Johnson, and here goes the try for second base, and he is safe as the ball is thrown away. And I want to tell you, Poole really took a chance there as he roared around and made it to second base. Probably considered to be an error, although the umpire called him safe at second base. And the leadoff double puts Poole on second base, and Ryan Retz coming up to bat. Retz is 0-for. He got on in a fielder's choice in the first, walked in the third, struck out in the fifth, and grounded out in the fourth inning. Check that, in the seventh inning. Last night, he kind of broke out of his slump going 2 for 4, but so far tonight, he has not been able to get things going. Next pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side. So a 1-strike count. Ethan Rosebeck in the ballgame for Roswell, and he is the fourth pitcher. Right now, the pitcher of record for the Tucson Saguaros is Aaron Smith. He's in relief of Romero, Gomez, and Diaz. 0-1 pitch on the way. Belted to left center field. It'll find the gap. 1 run will score, and moving around to second base is Retz, and he's turning on the speed, going for third, in head first slide, and records a triple. Nobody out, a run in. The score is 7-6 here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, as Roswell is trying to avoid a 3-game sweep here at the Kino Stadium, and Tucson doing everything they can to keep it as a 3-game sweep. Well, they're going to leave Rosebeck out there. Nobody out, a man on third. That is the tag run. The go-ahead run in the form of Adam Urbania. Adam has three hits tonight and four times at bat. He got a base hit to right field, actually a double back in the eighth inning, and was one of two runners to come around and score. The Roswell infield is in. This is the first time in this series that we have seen that, even though there have been other times that it might be positive to have them in. But right now, down or ahead, 7-6, they're trying to cut off that tying run. Fouled off to the left side. The count goes 1-1. Urbania has been very impressive as a defensive player in left field. Given up his body a couple of times to get after some balls. But he has been very productive with two hits to right field, including that double, and then a single wrapped around. This one lifted to left field. It's deep enough, and the tying run looks like it might score. A close play at the plate. He's safe. Two runs in here. Only one out. An RBI triple, an RBI fly has tied it up at 7-7. Thomas McKenna comes in. He had a base hit last time up. The bases are clear. They took an appeal at third base, saying that the runner left too soon, but it was denied, called safe, and we will come up here with Thomas McKenna. The right fielder has gone 1 for 4. And got a base hit last time in the eighth inning, came around to score. When Ruben Rivera got a base hit, that put two runs in the eighth inning, 2 runs now in the ninth inning to tie it up. So deuces have been pretty wild here for the Tucson Saguaros, looking at a first pitch strike. They got two in the third, only got one in the fifth, but that has tied it up at 7-7 for the Saguaros, currently leading the South Division of the Pecos League with a 14-3 record, a second pitch called strike. So right away, McKenna is down 0-2. In relief, Ethan Rosbeck. Pitcher of record for the Saguaros is Aaron Smith. Just misses him inside. I guess if you're going to waste one, you might waste one with some chin music on it. That's exactly what Rosbeck did. I suspect he's a little frustrated. To the plate, swung on, gets away from the catcher. Kaufman to first base, gets the out. So that will be the second out. Nobody is on, and Danny Droll will come up to bat. Danny comes into the ballgame batting .438, and he got a base hit the last time up. But before that was 0 for 3, so he's 1 for 4 in the night. First game he was 1 for 2, got a walk and was hit by a pitch. Ethan Rosbeck trying to stop the bleeding here. Inside corner for a strike. 2 runs in, it's all tied up. As we are in the bottom of the ninth inning at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. 2 clubs will go to Bisbee tomorrow. Inside misses him again. Even out at 1-1. 1-1, slow curve misses inside. 3-1. 2-1. My mistake. Danny is an Air Force brat. Colorado Springs doesn't check it, and it goes to 2-2. He shares catching duties with Jesse Baker. Baker came on as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the eighth. Unfortunately, coming off the bench is tough, and he struck out. Foul down the right side. So we'll go to pitch number 6 at this at-bat. Rosbeck snapped that ball when it came back to him. You can tell there's a little frustration as he came in the pitch here in the bottom of the ninth inning with a 7-5 lead and has relinquished it. This one just misses inside as Rosbeck beginning to walk off the field, thinking that he had a strike. Strike not 3-2 on the batter, two outs. In the bottom of the ninth inning, and it's all tied up. At the set is Rosebeck. 3-2. Swung on and hit out towards Johnson. Picks it up and fires it out. We'll go to extra innings.
This is Tucson Saguaros against the Roswell Invaders.
No, Pecos.
It's the Pecos. It's 7-7 going into the top of the 10th inning. And if you get on YouTube, we've got it streaming live. You can get the final score there before your newscast.
Aaron Smith out for his next inning of work. He set down Roswell 3 up and 3 down in the top of the ninth inning. We are in the top of the 10th inning now. 7-7 tie. This one lifted towards right center field. On his horse, McKenna comes off the bottom of the wall over to help out Daly, and a lead-off double by Oliver will put the Saguaros in a difficult position here as they are all knotted up. The Saguaros scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th and 2 in the bottom of the 9th to get it all tied up. We're in the top of the 10th inning with Christian Johnson coming up to bat for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Johnson has scored twice. He got on a base hit in the third inning and scored. Lined out to left field. On a fielder's choice in the sixth inning and scored. And got a base hit his last time up in the eighth. Got a pinch runner for Roswell. Somebody with a little bit of speed out there is Gaspar from Gilroy, California, the second year with the Invaders. And the infield at the corners is looking for a bunt from Christian Johnson. Christian Johnson is up to bat, and they are looking for a bunt from him. He does bunt it, but it goes foul off to the right side, and it is a strike one count. We are in the top of the 10th inning. All knotted up at 7-7. Two runs in the bottom of the 8th, 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth for the Saguaros. Have tied it up here. We're off to the 10th inning. The Saguaros won on Thursday 7-1, on Friday 7-3, and have battled back from a 6-2 deficit to tie it up in the bottom of the ninth. We're in the top of the 10th. The bunt being expected. Around a bunt, gets it down. A good one. The pitcher is off the mound and gets it over to first. Does Aaron Smith for the 1-2-4 out recorded. As Lubeck got over there and recorded the out. It is the first out of the inning, but the go-ahead run is now 90 feet away. And we'll go to the top of the order, Rene Murata. And Murata has struck out five times. This would be a time for number 6 as far as the Saguaros are concerned. And we're going to check and see if they send Murata up. Big conference on the mound, and we'll switch out pitchers. So that will do it for Aaron Smith. And coming in from the left field bullpen, relief pitcher for the Saguaros. And because he is a right-hander, little tough to see out in the bullpen who that is. Might be Hurtado. And it is in fact Daniel Hurtado. Daniel was in the Angels organization for a number of years. Got up to long season A, which is a couple of steps above the Pecos League. Throws pretty hard. Got closing duties last night, although because the Saguaros were ahead by 4, he did not get a save, but Daniel is out there, the big right-hander, and he will look at Murata and Woodward. As I mentioned, Rene has struck out 5 times. One time looking and 4 times swinging. Roswell got 2 in the first inning. They got 1 in the third, 3 in the fifth. Came away with 1 in the sixth, and then have been shut out ever since. Tucson finally broke through in the third inning to plate a couple of runs. Then they got one in the fifth. And they saved the best for last, at least as it stands right now. 2 in the bottom of the 8th and 2 in the bottom of the ninth. Up close, cutting off the run, fouled off to the screen for strike one. The unfortunate problem with having a runner on third is that with the defense on the grass, it elevates the batting average about 40 points. Swung on and fouled at the plate, and Droll looks like he got stung a little bit. 0-2. Now you would not want to run a squeeze play with a left-handed hitter up there, so that is somewhat off the books. And generally you don't want a squeeze play in a position like this. Swung on and fouled off to the left, unless you have a backup runner that might get into scoring position with 1 out or less. So the squeeze is probably off the table, especially now that the count is 0-2. Daniel Harada wastes the pitch. He is in relief of Smith, who's in relief of Romero, who's in relief of Gomez, who's in relief of Diaz. So the fifth pitcher that has been used by the local club, off-speed pitch high and away, and will go on a 2-2 count. The ball strike count got to rise out of the Tucson dugout. Matters not. Sixth pitch at the at-bat to the left-hander Rene Murata, the second baseman for Roswell. This one hit to straightaway center field, and going way back for it Daly. It will score a run easily, even if he had caught it, and gliding into second base after striking out five times is Rene Murata, who gets the RBI double, and that will put Roswell, New Mexico up by a count of 8-7 here in the top of the 10th inning. So after an absolutely abysmal evening at the plate, Morita comes through and gets the double and scores the run that was only 90 feet away, because even if Vernell Daly had caught up with that ball, it would have been a sacrifice. Roche offers at a bunt and misses. No balls and a strike here in the top of the 10th inning with one run in. Sky-high pop-up to short right field. Drifting back is Reitz. Has it, and he comes up looking to make sure that the runner Morita does not advance from second base. But that is the second out of the inning. However, Roswell, New Mexico has plated one. And they're up by a score of 8-7. Of course, the home team, Tucson, will have an opportunity to get back at it. They have scored two in the bottom of the 8th and two in the bottom of the 9th. The way it stands, they need in the bottom of the 10th to be able to come away victorious. High fastball misses. Cody Bishop has been a thorn in the side of the defense for Tucson all night long. A triple in the first RBI. A base hit in the third, a base hit in the fifth, and then a base hit in the eighth inning wrapped around a strikeout. Misses at the knees. 2-0. First base is open. Two outs. Cody Bishop came into this game batting .406, and obviously going for five. He is definitely going to raise that average. This one is ripped to right field, right at McKenna. He gets up and misses it. It goes over his head, and a second run will score. Line shot right at McKenna in right field. And he could not get up to get it. So a double is recorded by Cody Bishop, and RBI for Mr. Bishop, and the second run comes in to score. As Daniel Hurtado has been unable to stem the flow here in the top of the 10th inning, and Roswell, New Mexico has racked up two runs, and now lead at 9-7. First pitch of ball to Joey Miller. Miller hit a fly ball to left center field. That was a sacrifice out. Got a run in. He got a base hit in the seventh. Strike at the knees, 1-1. He got an RBI walk in the third. Bases jammed and he walked. And then around that, he popped out in the fifth and grounded out to the shortstop pool in the eighth inning. 1-1 pitch, two in, runner on second base. Big swing and a miss. One ball, two strikes. Well, now it is going to need to be three for Tucson in the bottom of the 10th inning. If everything is held off. They scored two in the bottom of the 8th, two in the bottom of the 9th, but have given back two in the top of the 10th inning. Runner in scoring position. Pitch outside, and the catcher Danny Droll did an excellent job of keeping the ball in front of him to keep Cody Bishop at second base. Bishop with an RBI double. Morita with an RBI double. Blake Oliver with a double that started off. Three doubles have put a black wreath around things. The pitch swung on and missed. And strike three, and now it'll be up to the offense for the Tucson Saguaros to come back on this one. As they really made a wonderful charge there, and then all of a sudden, it all went away. 15 hits so far on tonight for the visitors from Roswell, New Mexico. Ethan Rosbeck was out on the mound, but it looks like somebody trotting in here to pick up the bottom of the 10th inning for Roswell. Looks like it's going to be number 12, Steven Carrasas. And we will look for some numbers on Steven here in just a second. He will be facing the bottom of the Saguaros order. 7, 8, and 9. Lubeck. There'll be a pinch hitter for Rivera, and there'll be a pinch hitter for Baker. So we'll see if the bench can provide some punch for the Tucson Saguaros tonight to try to hang on. Roswell came into the series down two games. They've lost two in a row, so now they're down four, and they're trying to claw back and get back up to three games out of first place. Cabarrus is 0-1 on the season, has a 6.35 earned run average, has been in three games, started one of those games, pitched only 11 innings, but given up 17 hits, and 8 runs. So it would be nice for the Saguaros to be able to jump all over Mr. Carreras, as we are in the bottom of the 10th inning. And Tucson is behind 9-7 after tying it up at 7. Outside corner for called strike. Lubeck struck out three times and grounded out once. He's 0 for 4. Hits one with good authority back towards the left field wall. Dropping back as well. It is at the base of the wall. And Lubeck will come to second base with a stand-up double. Randy Keene is coming up there. He pitched a complete game on Thursday evening and won 7-1. He is a third baseman pitcher. Just finished his collegiate career, graduated with a degree in kinesiology via college, and quite frankly, not know where that is. It's an NAIA school. As he looks at the first pitch at the knees for a called strike. A double has put Lubeck on second base. Randy Keene in for Ruben. Check that. Randy Keene is in for Ruben Rivera. That's correct. Misses outside. 1-1 the count.
Rivera had a couple of hits, actually three of them, but he was replaced for a pinch runner, and it worked out well. Slow curve misses outside, and Kino goes up 2-1. That was one of the runs that scored to make two in the bottom of the ninth inning and tie it up. Swung on and missed, and the count goes even at 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. It is Roswell, New Mexico 9, Tucson Saguaros 7. A runner on second, nobody out. The batter is Keen, and the count is 2-2. Swung on and missed, and that will be a strikeout. And now we'll go down to Tommy Lyons, who will be pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 10th inning. In this ninth spot, we have had five different hitters. And unfortunately, the ninth position is over. One out here, a man on second base, in the form of Brian Lubeck. And stepping in from the left side, Tommy Lyons. First base is open. Swung on and looked to left field towards the line. Over to get it is Bobby Webb, and he does in fact grab it just about two steps away from the line, and the Saguaros are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 10th inning with a runner in scoring position. But they do need two. Michael Morris is the hitter. Morris has no home runs, but does have six doubles. Tonight he has gotten a double in the seventh, so that makes his seventh double on the season. He got a triple in the fifth inning and walked in the third inning. In each case, coming around to score. Fouls it off to the left side. Ethan Rosbeck was the pitcher of record when Roswell scored two in the top of the 10th inning, so he would pick up the win if things stay the way they are right now. Looked like a screwball. My goodness sakes, you don't see too many of those thrown. Drifted outside to the left-handed hitting Morris, playing center field tonight. Has had a good series. Couple of hits and a walk tonight. This is lifted straight away center field. Cody Bishop drifting deep and picks it off, and that will do it. So the Saguaros attempt to come back and pick up the third victory in a row falls short as they have trouble in the top of the 10th inning, giving up two runs. And unable to counter here in the bottom of the 10th inning. And that will leave us with the final score of Roswell, New Mexico 9 and the Tucson Saguaros 7. Well, the teams will be back next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here to play Santa Fe. They go on the road tomorrow, and they will be playing this Roswell team once again over in Bisbee. That game starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Bisbee was in the league in the previous years, and there was already a commitment on Sunday here at Kino Stadium. So that's why the road game starts things off. The teams play consecutive games 7 days a week. So we wrap it up here from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium with the final score Tucson 7 going down in defeat to Roswell, New Mexico 9. Alan Scott for Piper Ballou and Chris. Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll be back on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for the game against Santa Fe here from Kino Stadium.
is somebody here that did communicate to us about the echo. I don't know when that came in, but it's in. And just like that, the echo is back. And just like that, it's back. So, I don't. Say there are 11 people watching right now. So I don't know where that goes. Okay, we've shut that down. Is it off?